developed a very strong bond. Together we go to my horseback riding lessons, school band practice, swim meets, and archery classes. Together we pick vegetables and we like to cut flowers. I love Marcia. She makes me feel like together we can do anything. I can't imagine life without her. She's a part of the family. We are just one of the thousands of teams Canine Companions has paired together over the past 50 years. With your help, we can continue for another 50. Visit canine.org to see the many ways you can change lives.
People don't realize that glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness.
Because there are often no early symptoms, nearly half of those with glaucoma may not even know they have it until vision loss has occurred.
I was diagnosed with normal tension glaucoma in July of 2020. And what we found out at that point was I had already lost 40% of my sight. And you think it only affects people that are, 75 or older, retired, grandparents, and that's not the reality of it.
I didn't think at all glaucoma was going to affect me because I didn't know of anyone that had glaucoma, no one in my family. When you have glaucoma, you can't get back that sight that you lost. And so early detection and treatment is vitally, vitally important.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments. Schedule an eye exam today.
National Glaucoma Research, a bright, focused foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Learn how to protect your sight at stopglaucoma.org.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. One United Bank is one of the nation's largest black-owned banks. Kevin Cohey is chairman and CEO, and he spoke to Bloomberg about how One United's embrace of new technology is a big part of how it's able to serve so many people.
The reason the company has grown so fast and we have such a large breadth of customers is because of our technology. That's what's unique about us. Our data aggregation technology is second to none, i.e. our ability to pull together all your financial information no matter where it is, so you can actually literally understand on a real-time basis where you are financially.
One United Bank is investing in AI to help enhance the digital banking experience.
Which, by the way, we've been working on for over a decade, which takes that same information and helps you to make better financial decisions on a real-time basis.
I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
The new My Lowe's Pro Rewards American Express card. Earn 3 points per dollar spent on Lowe's qualifying purchases for the first 6 months after card account opening. Plus, save 5% every day on eligible purchases at Lowe's and earn points on eligible purchases everywhere else Amex is accepted. Card members get more at Lowe's. Subject to credit approval. 5% can't be combined with any other offer. Exclusions and restrictions apply. Points subject to loyalty terms at Lowe's.com/terms and credit reward terms at Synchrony.com/MLPRA-terms. Visit Lowe's.com/business credit.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
He steps to the mic with a boom, ping, ping. Wisdom sharper than a beast's fierce sting. Words like fireflies that light the night. He turns the dark into blazing bright. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, all the airwaves king. Shake the ground, unveils the truth where lies abound. Politics, justice, social streams. He molds the chaos into dreams. No silence here, just the sound of change. Boom, ping, ping, rearrange. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, or the airwaves king. Through the static, through the noise, he amplifies the people's voice. Boom, ping, ping, like a heartbeat's call. He's got the wisdom to break down walls. Yeah. Da, 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 da.
Welcome to the program. Today is Monday, May 11th, 2026. I like to look at the small things to determine how we can solve some of the larger problems that I know we want resolution to. Almost like a broken windows theory, but executed with much more precision. For those of you who may not be familiar or don't remember this era of modern policing, so post-racial damage after the 1994 crime bill, we had to look at policing very differently because we wanted to change just about every single aspect of the criminal justice system because we saw the heavy racial disparities and an increase in prison spending. And then ultimately, it didn't necessarily make our communities safer, but it did act to divide and separate families for long periods of time. So we looked at a bunch of things. And when I say we, us as a society and stakeholders and businesses and voters too, voters play a very large role in the moving and shifting and changing target and bullseyes of policy. Looking at the small things to see, well, how can we better solve the problem? Broken windows theory is, we see a bunch of kids on the corner throwing rocks. Let's arrest them. Let's give them citations. Let's get them into the system. Not punish them really hard, but just let them know that these small little acts that they are committing can turn into a life of being involved in the system. And y'all know about the system. Once it's got you, it really doesn't want to let you go. Broken windows theory focused on quality of life. What little nuisance things are going on in the community? Is your neighbor making too much noise? Well, send the police over there to maybe give them a warning. Or that rental property, and we're going to talk about property on today's program. You know, that rental property down the street that has an absentee owner and the owner lives somewhere far away. Maybe the owner lives in a suburb of Milwaukee, or maybe the owner lives in another state, and they keep renting to really bad tenants, and the tenants are making a lot of noise. I'll be honest with you. It only takes one house on a block to ruin the peace and serenity of the whole block. One house on a block can devalue the property on the whole block, especially if there are repeated calls for service to that property. People are being obnoxious in the yellings and the screamings and the fighting. And it can be just one property on that block. And if someone is driving around the neighborhood, maybe they're looking for a property to buy, like as their primary residence, and they see that house, that rental house. For some reason, rental houses never have grass in the front yard. There's always trash strewn about. One of the windows is broken out or boarded up. They use a sheet for a curtain. Shout out to people that use sheets for curtains. Kidding. You get no shout out. Get a curtain. $7. I might even have an extra curtain for you. But broken windows theory says, let's go after these little small nuisances so there can be some peace and tranquility in neighborhoods, and also people that start off small with petty things, they may evolve and graduate to much more serious crimes. Well, ultimately, broken windows theory, it didn't really work the way it intended. Now, it sounded good. And to some extent, I subscribe to parts of it, because if somebody is even doing the small things, like litter is a small thing, but I want to better explain that small thing of why we litter. I don't know why I'm stuck on it. Because it's such a symptom of a much larger problem. As with everything, you may get constant headaches, or you have this really unusual pain in your back. You can manage it. You can take some Advil, and you can take the Tylenols, and you can take the Excedrins, and some of you take sea moss. Don't even really know what sea moss is. Black people love it. Don't know if it works or not, because black people still have the shortest life expectancy of everybody. Maybe we should slow down on the sea moss, just saying. But you may have this little tiny ailment that it's nagging, it's annoying, but you don't want to go to the doctor. You don't want to waste a bunch of time because you can deal with it. Now, this little nagging thing, it's a small little pain. Maybe your shoulder is hurt. You got this pain in your neck. You can deal with it. The interesting thing about the human body is it will adjust. And we will just get used to these little nagging pains and injuries. And sometimes we may chalk the nagging pain and injury up to, well, I'm just getting older. Which is very true. I have parts of my body that hurt for no reason. Just wake up in the morning with a swollen elbow for no reason. Just my elbow was swollen because I'm 51. You will ignore that small pain, and maybe it's inconvenient, but you've adjusted to it, and you take the Tylenols and the Advil. Well, guess what? You have cancer. You ignored the small thing. You ignored that small symptom because you could adjust. You could be okay. Next thing you know, you're in very, very bad shape health-wise. And I look at the broken windows theory of policing in a similar kind of context. Nip the small things in the bud, and then hopefully, just hopefully, if we can even stop a tenth of some of the major violent crimes and quality of life issues that we face by going after what could be later on in life really bad actors, if we go after them early and just let them know, like, hey, give them some guidance, give them some direction. Maybe you cite these young kids that are maybe doing some graffiti or doing some other things that are detrimental to a neighborhood, and you say, hey, what do you young people need? What's missing? You need some homework help? Do you need after-school programs? Do you need to get signed up for summer camp? I'm just throwing things just out there randomly. Not that any of these things would work, but I think that is where you can begin to mitigate what could be a worse problem down the road, because as someone gets older, they have more access to do far worse crimes. But I also know that this broken windows theory, where you go after the small things and you hope that one day you prevent the big things, that leads to racial profiling. And of course, we don't like that either. I saw the series of crime reports. Woman shot on Mother's Day. Fight on Brady Street, couple of fights on Brady Street, large fight at Lincoln Park. These fights and these gatherings at these county parks, I assure you they're going to sink County Executive David Crowley's campaign for governor, because as we get more and deeper into the summer and the weather gets warmer and the more trouble and violence that takes place at Milwaukee County parks, just think about this practically now. You got 7 Democratic candidates running for governor. Will people that are outstate that already have a negative impression of Milwaukee want to vote for the person from Milwaukee that has repeated instances of violence in the parks that are under the auspices of Milwaukee County government? Absolutely not. So I had to throw that out there because I don't want anybody to be surprised at how the rest of these months are going to go in the gubernatorial campaign. It's a shame, quite honestly. All the things that took place this weekend. And so there were some people that were, what was the Walgreens that just recently closed? I can't keep them all straight because, 27th and the North Avenue. And of course you hear from the people who are angry and upset and they blame Walgreens. Why are you closing? We need this Walgreens. the trash, the litter, the violence right there, either in the parking lot or right there in that neighborhood. Ladies and gentlemen, stop blaming a business or a company for wanting to relocate because the neighborhood no longer offers favorable conditions. Stop it. Businesses do not. I just got to say this now because people need to have a thorough understanding. I'm going to give you an example as to why y'all need to stop hammering on these businesses. If the neighborhood is no longer safe for the employees of that business, and when I looked at the footage of the fight in the Walgreens on Brady Street, I could understand why if you're a cashier, you shouldn't have to break up a fight on aisle 6. It's Massengill dishes flying off the shelves. They knocking the Q-tips down. The whole display of toilet paper just done fell on over because these people are fighting in the Brady Street Walgreens with no regard for anyone but themselves, just tearing the store up. I wouldn't want to go to work there. And if a business can't get employees to show up, a lot of whom may be women, who don't want to see and deal with the violence and people fighting and getting, cashiers get cussed out for some reason. They shouldn't have to deal with that. And if employees say, you know what, I don't want to work here, and the business is not profitable because other shoppers, I'm not spending my money where I got to keep my head on a swivel because I might get robbed. Ain't no way. I'll go somewhere else where I'll get robbed because the prices are high, but I won't get robbed at gunpoint. How many people do you know that moved out of Milwaukee because it was too violent? Did you tell them to suck it up and stay? How many people left the city of Milwaukee because their professional opportunities here were reduced or diminished or non-existent? Did you tell them to stay? You did not. You encouraged them to move. You told them it would be the best thing for them. Businesses are the exact same way. I'm going to take a break. When I come back, I want to get to the root of a problem by looking at some of the small things. I also want to talk about some of the ridiculous incidents that took place over the weekend. It's Mother's Day weekend. You're supposed to be with your mother, buy her flowers, take her out to brunch, and everybody is just peaceful and we're all loving each other on Mother's Day. This was an awful, awful weekend, and it's not even the summertime yet. But I think I'm going to get to the heart of the matter here and why there is such a reckless disregard for property. Did you see the fight at Mayfair? How come when I go to Mayfair, because every now and again I'll sneak off to Mayfair to get me a bourbon chicken. I like me some bourbon chicken. I don't eat the bourbon chicken every day because it's not good for you to eat the bourbon chicken every day because probably, the chicken may not be good for you, neither is the bourbon. But every now and again I like to treat myself. Ain't nothing wrong with treating yourself. I think they call that self-care. So I sneak off to Mayfair. And when I go to Mayfair, I do a couple laps. I just walk around the mall. It's a good way to get some steps in and just check stuff out. Because I've been going to Mayfair since they had the ice skating rink and they had that fish pond. Remember that fish pond that they had running the entire length of Mayfair Mall? And there was bridges. You had to cross a bridge to get to the other side of the walking aisles of the mall. Oh, I've been going to Mayfair since they had Marshall Fields. I've been going to Mayfair since they had Gimbals. I know I took some of you old school people back with Gimbals. Y'all remember Gimbals? Gimbals packed up and left too. And screw you, Milwaukee. You shoot too much. I don't know if that's why Gimbals left or not, but I know they're not here anymore. And so every time I go to Mayfair Mall, I'm looking around. Last time I went, I got me some bourbon chicken. I get me a bourbon chicken and a Diet Coke. And I sit in the little food court area. I didn't see any trouble, no yelling, no screaming, no bickering, no arguing, no fighting. But I did see a lot of bonnets. Lots of bonnets. But no, don't judge a bonnet. Hell, I wear a bonnet. What you gonna do about it? Ain't gonna do nothing about me wearing a bonnet. But every time I go to Mayfair, I never see these fights. So over the weekend, there was a fight at Mayfair where everybody gets pepper sprayed. And they're just like tables are flying over and it's just this destruction of property because people can't get along. So let me take my break, which I know I said I was going to do a minute ago. Come back and give a different perspective on why there's such a lack of regard for other people's property, including when people litter, which may seem like a small gesture, but ultimately some people in our city have a lack of regard for other people's property. When you go other places where it's much more likely that the residents own their property, they all respect the fact that this is somebody else's property, and I respect it because I want them to respect mine. And the lack of property ownership in this city permeates through the minds of these people where they don't care about your property. They'll destroy your Walgreens while they're fighting, and they'll knock over the tables and the chairs at the food court in Mayfair, and they'll spill my bourbon chicken. I will fight somebody. I sometimes want to sit in the food court and take my shirt off when I'm eating that bourbon chicken. That's how good it is to me, but I keep my shirt on. It takes all my might. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your family's tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Our phone number for reference purposes is 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. Also, if you go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device, search 1017 The Truth, hit subscribe. You'll be able to participate in our daily YouTube poll because I'm talking about property and the respect for your own property and also respect for your neighbor's property as well. Do you all own any property, any land, any real estate? I'm very curious. Now, I know this is just a snapshot of the people that interact with this program, and by no means is this poll representative of the whole, but I'm very curious because I do have a pretty good understanding of who the demographic is that listens to this program, or the people that interact with the program most frequently have a good idea of who you are because I've been talking to y'all for a very, very long time. Do you own any property? Do you own a house, some real estate? Some of you have rental property. Like not a car, but like mostly real estate, homes, duplexes, that kind of stuff, or just land. An example, and I'm going to give you more detail later on in the program about who owns property in the country. And obviously, African Americans own a lesser amount than other groups. And we can give a historical context to that, but it is a reality. We just own less property. And when we own less property, it's hard to feel connected to a place, connected to a neighborhood where you're renting, and your rental experience may not be a good one, right? And I think we may confuse it because someone will say, you look at like all the trash in front of a 4-family apartment building somewhere on the north side, and you say, wow, why don't these people take care of their property? Because it's not theirs. And what they may need to make that property better and safer, like maybe the sink doesn't work, the sink is clogged up, they got some plumbing issues, right? It's not up to par, and the landlord is not being very helpful. Just think about this just for a second. Just please empathize if you can. That property to them doesn't feel like home, so they don't care what it looks like on the outside. because there are issues and problems with the mechanics and the electrical on the inside. It doesn't feel like home. Yes, it's where they lay their head. Yes, it's where they're raising their children, but they don't feel some kind of deep connection to that property just because they are renting. And the rent is probably too high and goes up every single year. They're paying more for a month-to-month lease. Things aren't working in the property. Can you understand how they don't feel connected to it? The same with some of these businesses that may locate in our community, and people will often question, oh, there's a lot of unrest in the black community. Why are they burning down an advanced auto parts store? We don't own that. Why do you think that people have pride in buildings and in businesses that they don't own? Do you think that I drive around my community like, wow, I'm proud we have this McDonald's, Wendy's, and the Burger King. Wow, I'm so proud of this gas station. This is my community. No. My grandfather, who was born in 1905 in Attala County, Mississippi, I need you to understand for a moment what that life may have been like. While slavery had been abolished for 40 years, the life of an African American below the Mason-Dixon line is unlivable and unthinkable, especially compared to right now. My grandfather, who barely had a middle school education, was able to find a skill. He trained hunting dogs and actually made decent money training hunting dogs. And yes, he trained white folks hunting dogs too, because my grandfather on my mother's side was very good at training hunting dogs. And that is how he made a living for my mother, my two aunts, and my uncle. My grandfather, who barely had a middle school education but found a skill of training hunting dogs, bought land, a pretty sizable amount of it. My grandfather, who was born in 1905 in Attala County, Mississippi, died when I was 3 years old in 1978. And I assure you that an African-American man who grew up almost his entire adult life in the Jim Crow era did not have some of the opportunities that we currently take for granted, but he was able to acquire land. And he made a single demand before he died. Now, he's been dead almost 50 years. And he said to his children, which would be my mother, my two aunts, and my uncle, also my grandmother, his wife, do not ever sell my land to white folks. Ever. He didn't say white folks. He used another very creative name, which I will spare you. And I learned something from my grandfather, who I didn't really know because he died when I was 3 years old, and he was born in Attala County, Mississippi in 1905 with barely a middle school education. He knew something about capital and land that some of us in 2026 are still clueless about. Do not sell your land to them, because when they get it, they'll never sell it to us. When I go through the details of how much ownership of just private property and land that white people own in this country, and here's the thing, they don't sell it. They keep it, and they keep it forever. Capital accumulation, ladies and gentlemen, is what it's all about. Once you own the land, you live off of the land. I'm not talking about growing your own fruits and vegetables, because don't nobody want to be a farmer. The value of your land and the dividends that it pays and the money that your land is worth, you get to borrow against when you purchase other assets. Never sell your land, especially to them. That is why they own and control so much. They have been acquiring land since the frontier of the West, and they don't sell it. And look what they've done with it. Entire cities were built on their land. Now, we know they stole it. There are some companies and corporations right now that are renting the land and leasing the land, where they have multi-billion-dollar companies, and one family is collecting all of that money, not just in one state, but in 5 states, in 10 states, in 15 states. The ultra wealthy in this country have one thing in common: the amounts of capital that they have that they're never going to sell. That is where their wealth comes from. And we're over here thinking like, oh, if we tax the billionaires, then we'll get all their money. No, you won't, because they own the capital. They own the land. You want to build something, you got to get the land from them. You got to get a lease contract with them. They're never selling the land. You can tax them into oblivion. But the real value and the real wealth that is produced is by owning land. And my grandfather, who was born in 1905 in Itala County, Mississippi, who barely had an 8th grade education, knew that white folks own all the land, and he was able to acquire an amount of land. He said, do not ever sell it to them. And almost 50 years later, my family still has it. Now, I got a couple of cousins now that have inherited their father's piece of land. Some of my cousins is tempted to sell. Then if you're going to sell it to me. We'll buy it. Do not ever sell it to them, because we will never get it back. Take a break, come back, continue our little casual chit-chat, which you get Monday through Friday, at least temporarily. On The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, currently on 101.7 The Truth in the city of Milwaukee. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Join March for Babies to improve the health of families. The U.S. is among the most dangerous nations for childbirth. With your help, we can tackle America's maternal and infant health crisis. Join us in Milwaukee on May 16th at 9 a.m. at Greenfield Park in West Dallas for this powerful community event. Connect with families, friends, and coworkers while raising critical funds. Every step counts. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org.
Honest, direct, and always thought-provoking.
Even if the system don't make sense anymore. And that's the part we got to be honest about. Education is not a theory. It's not a title. It's not a category. It's a student, it's a teacher, it's a classroom, and there's learning. Everything, everybody else, including the superintendent herself, are secondary. Assistant superintendents, or whatever the heck you call them, deputy, chief of school, everybody, they are secondary if a child's not learning. The student is the number one thing there. So if we've reached the point where the only way to defend the system is to argue that keeping teachers out of the classroom is essential to education, then we're not just confused. We backwards. And when policy, practice, priorities, and money collide like that, there's only one word for all of this: nonsense.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, weekdays from 4 to 6, live on YouTube and broadcasting on 101.7 The Truth.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Williams, and I want to share with you the role that diabetes has had in my family. I lost my grandmother at the early age of 64 due to complications with diabetes. She was warm, generous, and a constant encouragement for me to follow my heart. Did you know that African Americans experience chronic kidney disease at a rate that's 25% higher than white Americans? And we're almost 4 times more likely to develop kidney failure. Diabetes and high blood pressure are leading causes of kidney disease, which can result in kidney failure, needing dialysis, or a kidney transplant. The good news is that you have the power to check out how well your kidneys are doing and learn ways to prevent them from failing. So go to your doctor and get yourself checked out. Visit linkmylovetv.org to learn more. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel because it costs nothing. My YouTube channel is at Hughes Views 414. I started doing a little more posting on my YouTube channel over the weekend because there are a series of unanswered questions about the future, and I want to keep folks updated and informed with what may happen in the future. Problem is, hell, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. But in the event that radio, continues to radio like it always does consistently, here today, gone tomorrow, I will be over at Hughes Views 414. We also have TikTok, same handle. We have an Instagram, same handle. A Facebook group, Hughes Views 414. Then, of course, the YouTube channel. So it's a complete brand where I can have a lot more autonomy and flexibility. And I can use profanity on my channel. I can tell it like it really is on my channel. I'm going to start broadcasting more from the Hughes Views. We picked up like 100 new subscribers over the weekend because for a while I kind of left it dormant. Like I'd post a few things here and there, or I would share these 1017 The Truth broadcasts via my YouTube channel. But I'm going to start doing more unique content posting on my YouTube channel because it's very liberating, you see, and I can speak a little more freely. So that YouTube channel that is mine is at Hughes Views 414. I don't need to spell it, do I? Do I need to spell it? Some of y'all get confused by Hughes because it's got a lot of consonants in it, and people try and pronounce all of the G's and the H's. Don't do that. You'll hurt yourself.
Maybe you can interview Al.
I have had a conversation, more than a couple, with Al. Well, this goes back, 6 months or more, about him starting his own podcast because it would be very popular. There are a lot of people. Al is polarizing. Either you absolutely love him and adore him and love his commentary, or the opposite. You don't love him, but I think the people that love him would enjoy hearing his take on issues. Because when it comes to a lot of social issues, he's right about a lot of stuff. Oftentimes his delivery tends to be very adult, but we're all grown here, So yeah, Al and I have talked about what would it look like if he started a podcast, but he also has a whole bunch of other things he has going on in his life. He does have time to call us, which we appreciate, but starting your own endeavor takes a hell of a lot of discipline. You got to be very, very consistent, and I think that's why some people that think they're going to be podcasters, they have very good intentions, they see how much work it actually is. Really, with anything that's entrepreneurial, it takes a lot of work. So, yeah, we've had that discussion. Linda, why are you calling me Unc? You're old enough to be my mama. Al says, Sherwin, why does it have to be the Massengill douches being tossed? And I know hundreds of people leaving because of lawlessness. When I saw that fight on Brady Street, but it also made it very clear to me, to the people that were upset about the Walgreens closing on 27th and North Avenue, just look at how some customers are acting. Why would a business deal with that? Here's the thing. It hurts my heart, but it's a cultural thing. There are some black folks that allow and accept some of the most disgusting and egregious behavior by other black people, that when someone says something about, say, hey, this is terrible behavior, people shouldn't be acting like this. Show a level of respect. Show a level of decorum. Damn, show a level of respect for yourself. Show a level of respect for somebody else's place, somebody else's space, somebody else's property. And when we call them out, Sherwin, why are you calling them people out? Leave them people alone. If you are somewhere fighting and causing mayhem and chaos in a place where I'm trying to shop, of course I'm going to call you out. I'll never accept that because I need to let y'all know I'm not like them folks. Now, we all tend to get judged the same, and that ain't fair. It's a small group of people that are causing an awful lot of the problems, and it seems more, I think it's getting more prevalent, but also because everybody has a camera and everybody records everything. I almost wish that we would stop doing it. But I want to know, like, oh, are people fighting? Are they shooting here? I want to know what's actually happening. But I'm just going to give you, I love giving examples because people don't, it helps people thoroughly understand. We don't like when the news media publishes violent stories about the black community, right? Don't we complain about that? They're always talking about the terrible things that are happening. The shootings, the assaults, the street takeovers. It just makes us look bad. Can I get some agreement on that? Do we get angry when news media, mainstream media, always publishes bad stories about black people? Can one person say yes in the YouTube chat? Because if I can't get some agreement on that, then I can't say the next part. Do we as black people have an issue when we are portrayed negatively in the media? You know, because black folks do a lot of really good things. We do a lot of helpful things. We build community. We help people a lot. So can I get a consensus from just one person? Do we find it troubling? Xavier just gave me consensus. Xavier, you find it troubling when the news media, it seems, they'll publish more negative and bad stories and violent stories about African Americans than they will positive. You agree to that?
Agreed.
Okay, thank you, sir. I need you to think about this. Whenever there's a fight, whenever there's a shooting, whenever there's a street takeover, and a black person has their goddamn cell phone camera out and they are recording the fight and screaming World Star and they're putting on social media, aren't those black people doing what we don't want the media to do? Publishing bad, negative stories about black people? Can I get an amen?
Amen.
We complain when they do it. Sherwin, why are they always publishing these negative stories about us fighting and shooting? Well, then why do black people, when they get their cell phone cameras out, want to use and exploit the fights and the violence and the shooting in the black community, and they want to exploit that to go viral? We do a better job of showing negative behaviors of black people than the media does. Because there's only a couple of media companies in the city of Milwaukee. Thousands of y'all got cameras, and you capture everything. Now, if you want the mainstream media to stop publishing and showing all the negative behaviors and stereotypical behaviors of black people, maybe you should stop too. Maybe everybody don't need to see what happened at Mayfair, save for the people that were there. Of course, they're going to see it because they're there at Mayfair. You know what I mean? You ain't got to... There go the Church of Organ Music. You ain't got to publish every damn thing because guess what? You are further entrenching in people's minds that we are goddamn savages. No more church music. I'm not trying to be preachy. I'm just trying to give some common sense. So we get mad when they publish negative stories, but also say, and then we'll combat that by saying, oh, Sherwin, how come they don't publish any positive stories? Why don't you? Everybody is a newsmaker. Everybody has social media for the most part. You can have a Facebook page dedicated to black people planting flowers. You can have a Facebook page dedicated to black people that like to wear fancy hats and go out to debutante balls. You have the ability to change and reform the image of black people, but we do exactly what the media does. So stop blaming them. Stop blaming the Walgreens that wants to close when you are literally looking on Zillow for somewhere else to move to. Fight at Mayfair Mall, security officers accidentally pepper spray. It was pepper spray flying everywhere. And here's what makes it even worse. A lot of things make it worse. I got like 37 things that just came to mind at once. So let's say there's a fight at Mayfair, which there was. You know that by the time the local news cameras get there, first of all, they wouldn't, unless they're already in the mall, they're not going to cover that because who cares? It's just the blacks being blacks. The news media, and I got the story right here from Fox 6 Now, which is our local Fox affiliate here in the city of Milwaukee. Headline is Fight at Mayfair Mall, security officers accidentally pepper sprayed. And then I saw the news report of it on Channel 6, Channel 56, that's our Fox 6. Well, it's fox6.com. And the video that they showed of the fight, and it's a black woman who's wearing, like her wig fell off. It's so bad. And you can see like the net on her. It's so ugly. And she's rustling and tussling with 5 or 6 security guards. And one of the security guards has a dog. You guys remember a couple of years ago where a black woman was acting a whole fool at Mayfair Mall, and that dog, you know, they got dog. That dog got her ass, bit her ankle. I didn't want to let go. And then she had the damn nerve to sue. I sided with the dog. But there was a dog with the security guards. And here's what's crazy. Dogs used to scare black people. This woman is fighting with 5 or 6 security guards. The dog is right there. The dog stayed really calm. The dog was like, the blacks again. The dog wasn't even agitated. And there was another African-American man. He might have been a teenager. And he's just like walking all up in the action with his little pants sagging, with his little skinny-ass jeans on. I thought only gay men wore skinny jeans, but whatever. That's fine. Everybody can be gay if they want to be, but whatever. He's walking all up in the camera. Do you know the news media, when they ran that very ugly story about African-Americans fighting at a damn mall in the suburbs because Mayfair's in Wauwatosa, the footage they got was from somebody's cell phone footage. So if we get angry at the local media for showing and portraying these negative images of African Americans, stop giving them the footage. The footage is coming from us. So we are helping them portray negative images about black people. And then look how that plays out in society, because everybody will see these black folks acting a fool. Some of y'all might be applying for jobs. Well, the person you might be applying to may not have a lot of familiarity with African Americans, and they see this footage on TV of a black person recording black people fighting. The local news media broadcast that, and they don't want to hire you because they think you might be affiliated with them. Do you see how that hurts us? So if we want the news media to stop portraying us negatively, first of all, let's us consider not publishing every fight and every act of violence that we see. Everybody don't need to see that. The people that are there in person when there's a fight or when there's a shooting, they're the witnesses. We don't need to share it with everybody else, because then the news media is going to run with a story that we as black people fed them. You know they're sharks. If I ever get this book started, I will tell you how disgusting and how dirty this game actually is. If you can monetize providing information, people will do it. They will exploit everything. It's so dirty. The media does not care. We think that they have like a human side to them. They want to see us fighting. And even better yet, they don't got to waste time, effort, and resources. They don't got to pay a cameraman to go find the blacks fighting. We'll send them the footage. There's a shooting at Juneteenth Day. What year? This is 26? Must have been 2024. There was a shooting at Juneteenth Day right across King Drive from where the 1017 The Truth tent was. Now, most of us had left. There was only a few of us breaking down our tent and cleaning up and packing up our equipment when there was a shooting. And the amount of cell phone footage that got sent to local media, like somebody sent it to me, and then that person was like, oh, Sherwin, all of these news stations are asking me permission to use my footage. And of course they granted it. But think about how that damages the image and the reputation of Juneteenth Day. I just want us to be very, very clear. What we complain about, we are also complicit and participate in. We get angry when the news media portrays us in a negative light, but yet we record the horrible fights and shootings and we send it to the news media. We get mad at a company, a business, a corporation, a pharmacy. Who even cares? Walgreens? Of all the things that get upset about a company leaving, Walgreens, not Walgreens. Oh, Sherwin, that's not fair that Walgreens is leaving. Where am I going to go get my Q-tips from? At the same time, if I checked your browser history, first of all, I'd probably find some porn. But then I would check your browser history and I would see all the different places where you looking to move out to the city of Milwaukee yourself. You trying to go where Walgreens is going. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 FM. Don't forget to add my YouTube channel at HughesViews414, youtube.com/@ HughesViews414. I mean, just in case. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Still think you're going to use those old chemicals just sitting around under the sink, in the garage, or down in the basement? We're talking things like old antifreeze, paint thinners, batteries, propane cylinders, and pesticides. So don't let them sit there. Get rid of them right away. To MMSD's Home Hazmat Drop-Off Centers. It's safe, it's easy, and it's open to all Milwaukee County residents. There are 3 locations open year-round. Let's clean up Milwaukee. Don't miss one of Milwaukee's favorite summer traditions, the U-Path Ride for Arts, presented by Miller Lite, returns Sunday, May 31st. Ride a fully closed 20-mile course across the Hone Bridge with incredible lakefront views. Kids 12 and under ride free thanks to the Brewers Community Foundation. All in support of Southeastern Wisconsin Performing Arts. 7 a.m. start, finish at U-Path Fest on Summerfest grounds. Register today at upathride.org. That's UPAFRIDE.org.
Hungry for something fresh and delicious? Get your favorites from Cousin Subs delivered straight to your door. From our freshly baked bread and hand-sliced meats and cheeses to our famous sides, crispy golden fries, Wisconsin cheese curds, or creamy mac and cheese. Every meal made to order and ready to enjoy. Ordering is quick and easy online or through the Cousins app. Whether it's a solo lunch, family dinner, or a spread for the whole crew, let us bring it straight to you, fast and fresh. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Our phone number is 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. Hello, person on line 1 whose name we don't know, but welcome to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. How are you?
I'm okay. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. What's on your mind?
My name Lucci Mob, for one, but I want to tell you about your show on Friday. Was one of the best shows that I heard you having. Man, that was like the best show, man. And when you put the bonnet on, it's I knew when I came back from break and you had that bonnet on, I said, this is about to be a good show. And it was amazing, man. But like I said, I pray that you don't go nowhere, but I know that, you've been around for years, so, you put your work in. But I want you to know you got one of the best shows.
Thank you.
On the air right now, and you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, you amazing, man. I appreciate you so much for guiding us. I'm young. I'm only in my 20s, and I listen to you, and you got good guidance. And I like the way that you know how to narrate. Like you know how to keep it interesting, so it don't be. The older people, they talk, it be boring, but you know how to put that umph in it. And I just want to know, I appreciate your 5 years that you gave to us, and we don't get any more. I appreciate you, and I love you, man. Thank you, Lucci Mob.
I love you too, Mr. Mob. I guess I'll call him Mr. Mob. Friday. Yeah, I guess we got it done on Friday. He did remark on my bonnet, which I'm not sure if that's fair, because why does my headwear have anything to do with my content? I mean, I got bonnets. I got them in my bag. If y'all want a bonnet, I'll get you a bonnet now. Pick a color. I
feel like the bonnet gives you special powers.
You think so?
Yeah, whenever you put it on, when I'm looking down, I'm editing, and then I look up and you have it on, I feel like it triggers something within you.
It's a bridge to the ancestors.
There you go.
Maybe that's what it is. But I should be able to be taken seriously regardless. Do we not answer the phone number? I get it.
I think the ringer's off.
It's off in there?
Yeah, that's why I didn't see it, yeah.
Hello? That's probably not how I should answer the phone. Hi, thank you for calling 1017 The Truth. Do you have a question or a comment?
Hello, Sherwin.
Good God almighty.
Oh,
Jesus.
Sherwin, the man mentioned Friday. That was a good show. And, it reminds me when I came down here 30 years ago, and I was in line with a Sears or a J.C. Penney or I don't know which one it is. And this black guy was ahead of me, and there was a Mexican that was the cashier, talked down to the black guy. And the black guy took it. And then the Mexican had me come up next. And he talked down to me. And I talked down to him and left my stuff on the counter. The point is, Illinois people, white people, are different from Illinois white people. They're just different.
How so?
In Illinois,
how are they different?
In Illinois, you go to a place, they know you can go across the street to the same mall and get what you want to get. And so they have more, how to treat a customer, how to talk to a customer. Because they know, Illinois, in Wisconsin, I'm going to see that guy again probably. They closing down the Walgreens in Wisconsin. Where else they got to go to the same? It's too small. That's just the problem, but because you're going to see them same folks. And, when you go around the town of Wisconsin, just like I went down to Tomah, Wisconsin, when I had a stroke and I thought my son would help me. He was in the service. And for 3 months, June, July, August, they didn't mess with me, the white folks. They were nice, and some looked at me and looked away. But I can't believe I was so glad to get back to Milwaukee in September that I almost kissed the ground. But I ain't going to kiss the ground. But just to be normal and just to be, normal. You go in a store, you go in a restaurant, you can expect how black and white people treat you for the most part. But in Tomah, there's a coldness that you just can't shake. That's why it was great. Nothing happened. I went to the casino and I went out to eat to Denny's. And
we know you went to the
happened.
casino. We know that. You ain't never met a casino you ain't like.
Yeah, you know everything. I'll talk to you later, sir. You just know too much. And it's good to listen to you. Glad you're still here. That was a good show Friday. So I will talk to you later, sir. Continue. Okay. Let me get off the phone first. All right. I got the button.
You know how when I say I'm going to break and I never do, when Bob says he's hanging up and saying goodbye, he also doesn't when he says he's going to. I wonder if I'm that annoying when I say, take a break, come right back, and I keep talking for 5 more minutes.
I think he just likes talking to you.
I want you all to appreciate my growth, my maturity, and my restraint, because when Bob said that he was so happy to be back in wherever, Milwaukee, that he almost kissed the ground, I want you to know it took everything inside of me, the very fiber of my being, not to say to Bob at that moment, I got something you can kiss. But I didn't say it. But I will say this, The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Milwaukee business owners, this is your moment. Every Friday at 8 a.m., call in to 101.7 The Truth for What the Business Is. Tell us what your business is, where you're located, and one thing you've learned along the way. What the Business is powered by We Energies, delivering the energy that powers local business. Fridays at 8 a.m. on 101.7 The Truth. Fridays at 8 a.m. on 101.7 The Truth.
This is 101.7 The Truth's Kyle Wallace, and I am Milwaukee. I take great pride in being a 414 boy and representing the city that I love. The great memories I have of going to Northtown Cinema to see movies with family and friends, to going to Capitol Court to see the Black Santa Claus, this city has helped shape me into the man that I am today, and I pledge to utilize my voice as a way to advocate for you in our community. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
People don't realize that glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness.
Because there are often no early symptoms, nearly half of those with glaucoma may not even know they have it until vision loss has occurred.
I was diagnosed with normal tension glaucoma in July of 2020. And what we found out at that point was I had already lost 40% of my sight. And you think it only affects people that are, 75 or older, retired, grandparents, and that's not the reality of it.
I didn't think at all glaucoma was going to affect me because I didn't know of anyone that had glaucoma, no one in my family. When you have glaucoma, you can't get back that sight that you lost. And so early detection and treatment is vitally, vitally important.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments. Schedule an eye exam today.
National Glaucoma Research, a bright, focused foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Learn how to protect your sight at stopglaucoma.org.
When I was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma, I had so many questions. I didn't even know that it was cancer. Now I do. It is cancer. Blood cancer. It's actually one of more than 100 different types, and they're all treated differently. Now, unlike some other forms of cancer, usually there's no tumor. You can't screen for it to prevent it, and the symptoms can look like other things, so it could be hard to diagnose. I had a fever for weeks. I was so tired all the time. I didn't feel like eating or doing anything else for that matter. And I know that this can feel scary. But if you know what to look out for, you'll know what to tell your doctor. And you'll feel more empowered to take the next steps. Like getting in touch with the people who know the ins and outs and can help with everything blood cancer related. Blood Cancer United. They work one-on-one with each person who reaches out to answer questions and offer resources. Blood Cancer United was there for me, and they can be there for you.
Go to bloodcancerunited.org to learn more.
We are the home of Milwaukee Black Talk. 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. During Hour 1, I talked about some of these small things, these nuisances, these annoyances, these small things. If we nip them in the bud and we try and correct people's behavior when they are doing small annoyances, these little tiny grievances, maybe we can interject sooner and prevent people that get away from the small things, prevent them from doing the big things. The work that needs to be done to ensure a safe community in the future starts now. There's not a whole heck of a lot we can do in the short term, unfortunately, but what we can do is get out ahead of the kind of world that we want to create begins right now. We are incubating the future as we speak. And if I look at some of the small things like litter, why do people throw litter on the ground? It makes the neighborhood look like it can be disrespected. You're not going to go into a neighborhood that's clean and the yards are manicured and they've got landscaping and flowers. You're not going to go there and do your dirt. You're going to go to a neighborhood where it looks like nobody cares. And so we can attract this negative element just by the lack of respect for property. And I gave an example of, why would people throw garbage in front of their own apartment building? And you would think, that's disgusting. They live there. That's their home. But if the plumbing doesn't work, they got electrical problems, the landlord is not responding to any phone calls, it doesn't feel like home to them. And if the inside of that place that they are renting or leasing for way, way, way too much money doesn't feel comfortable, then they don't care what the outside looks like. That's just I guess, one perception of it. They don't own anything. People will often wonder, oh, Sherwin, when there's unrest in the black community, why are you burning down your own neighborhood? If we had our own neighborhoods, nothing would get burnt down. We don't own any of that stuff. But we feel these artificial attachments to things, or maybe they want us to feel artificial attachments to things that exploit us more than they help us. People got mad that a Walgreens was closing. At the same time, there was a fight at the Brady Street Walgreens, and at that moment, for those of you that didn't understand why a Walgreens it's a professional operation. It's not there to host boxing matches amongst people. Employees may not want to go there, and if an employee, follow me when I say this, there's a lot of irony here. If an employee doesn't feel safe, then the likelihood that they're not coming back to work is very high. And you can't run a Walgreens or any other business for that matter if the employees don't feel safe. We complain about the news media portraying black people in a negative light. Why are they always showing the fights? Why are they always showing black youth up to no good? Why are they always showing people wearing bonnets? Oh, I changed bonnet color, by the way. I mean, it's hour 2. You can't go into the different hours with the same color bonnet on. Why? Come on. Why would you do that? I got some kind of class and sophistication about myself. Don't worry. I got an hour 3 bonnet for that ass, too. I come prepared. Always showing the fight, Sherwin, and making us look bad. Why the media always publishing bad stories? And I say, hey, Dontrell, where do you think the media got that video footage of the fight from? Huh? Who do you think sent the media the footage? Because they're running a story on local news, and they got cell phone footage from a black person. So black people are doing the bidding of the media, the same media that we don't like because they're always portraying black people in a negative light. I've always thought that if we want the world to know the more positive side of who we are, if this is something we won't even put our effort in, because here's the thing, no matter what we show them, they're still going to feel the same way about us because their parents told them how to feel about us and their grandparents told them how to feel about us. So it's going to be very hard for us to put out a bunch of like positive stories and really positive images of black people to change 10 generations of thought in their families. Because at some point I'm like, screw how they feel about us. But we still got to deal with them. We still got to work with them. And if they have a level of respect for us, it makes dealing with them a little bit easier, because if you're trying to work with them and agree with them and cooperate with them, it helps if you're arriving at that table with a level of dignity and respect. It helps. It doesn't necessarily guarantee anything. But shouldn't we take at least as much responsibility for portraying positive images of blackness than we do showcasing and posting the negative images of what we may see a handful of black people doing? Shouldn't we at least like balance it out? If we're going to post like somebody fighting or, you know, something happening at a mall or one of these takeovers, or I've even seen people post videos of shootings, posting pictures of dead bodies. Shouldn't that also be balanced out with a positive thing? And all too often, and this is something else that I've noticed, our music and our art, our culture used to speak for itself. The world has emulated it. If you look at some of the most popular music acts of all time, and most of them are American, and even the ones that are popular that aren't American, they copied our music. Our jazz, our blues, I mean, the whole chord structure of rock and roll is authentically black. And nobody argues with that. Led Zeppelin got sued. The Rolling Stones got sued because they are stealing our music. And an interesting thing about segregated America is because radio stations were very segregated too. White radio stations did not play black music because they knew the positive impact that it could have on the listening audience, because then people will endear themselves to the beautiful parts of black culture, which has always been our creativity, our art, our dancing, and absolutely our music. But if you steal from the black artists, and then you have a white face performing black music, then you can sell to that entire white audience while stealing the creativity of black people, and that has really been the story of American music. You wonder why these record companies are so crooked, but our music, and we used to stand behind that. So yes, there would be like really horrible and negative things that would happen in the black community. Sometimes it'd be us doing stuff to us. Sometimes it would be white people doing very, very tough, terrible stuff to us as well. But our music was so beautiful and so soulful, and our culture is just so exquisite and so unique. It's magnificent. It's splendid. It is. We used to let that speak on behalf of the goodness of black, okay? Our music. Pick any artist from any epoch. Jackie Wilson, Sam Cooke, the era of Motown, Stax Records. I'm talking about music that is timeless. It was beautiful. People have never heard anything like Isaac Hayes before. They've never seen anyone like Curtis Mayfield before. I still haven't seen anybody like Curtis Mayfield before. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is a cultural phenomenon. Michael Jackson's been dead for like 15 years. Doesn't even matter. And then Prince, or the artist formerly known as him. We don't even know what to do with Prince. We don't even know what Prince was. Was he a man? Was he a woman? Was he a symbol? Was he just the color purple? Prince could take your wife and your husband, and it would be like, oh, well, I lost my wife to Prince. I lost my husband to Prince. That's totally acceptable. While I don't blame the music per se, explicitly or specifically, for this slow spiral downward of black culture, it doesn't speak on behalf of us like it used to. What is popular now amongst black youth, the music that they stream, that they download, doesn't always portray us in the best way like music used to. And I think that is what some people mean when they say that the music is the downfall and, oh, they're listening to the music. There is some truth to that, because if you don't have someone like a strong figure in your life telling you that that music that you hear is not a code in which you live your life, it's just entertainment. Because you'll find a lot of the artists that have some of the most outrageous lyrics, like egregious lyrics, like dangerous, murderous, poisonous lyrics, all like live in the Hollywood Hills and send their kids to private school. Like their kids go to school wearing uniforms, but they're selling you that music. And far too many of us that don't have positive guiding lights and positive guiding principles will listen to that music and want to emulate some of those behaviors. Because I know it's entertainment, but I'm going to tell you what, and I'm a pretty strong-willed person. I want to do my best to represent our people in a positive light and represent myself in a positive light. But sometimes I listen to, some popular, like 21 Savage. If I listen to 21 Savage, I got to talk myself out of shooting up the club. I was like, I feel like I should shoot this club up. As I'm sitting in the corner at a private table drinking Chardonnay with a candle providing the light, I'm like, you know what? I was listening to 21 Savage as I'm like rolling my Chardonnay around in my gigantic wine glass. I'm like, I could shoot this club up if I wanted to, and they could do nothing about it. I am motivated by 21 Savage. But no, I don't shoot the club up because I know better. But there are a lot of people, our young people, very impressionable, who they weren't wanted. Their parents didn't want them. That's what this is. If you really want to know, and stop trying to overthink it. Oh, and it's this, and society is it. If you were loved at home, you don't look for love and attention when you go out, when you go to school, when you go out in public. That's exactly what it is. And the things that people will do for attention have grown more and more and more extreme. That's exactly what it is. And it's almost like it's heading toward this cliff. What people will do, because now your lack of love and attention that you didn't get from your parents, I feel horrible for these children because they didn't ask to be born into this. The lack of love and attention that they get at home, in which they crave this attention and this validation when they go out in public, and what they do and what they're willing to do gets more and more extreme. They can now monetize that extreme dangerous behavior. So if you act a complete fool, if you're filming these takeovers, if you're filming a shooting, if you're filming a fight, you can make money off of that. So there's financial incentive to post things. And look at this double-edged sword, because the negative images and videos that they are posting about black people further decimates and desecrates the image of black people writ large, and also somebody can make money off of it. And the news media is taking the footage that we record and they're showing it to a much broader audience, like, oh, look at what was sent to us by Dontrell62 on Twitter, and it's 75 black women all fighting with bonnets on. But it's not about the bonnet. The bonnet doesn't matter. We don't respect property because we don't have any. Or we have the wrong kind of property. It's a viral video that I saw recently and it made me sick. It was a guy, you can find it, it's probably on TikTok somewhere. I think that's where I saw it. A person was going around with a camera and a microphone asking people at the Kentucky Derby what's their biggest flex. My father owns a Fortune 500 company. My father owns a distribution company that impacts, 2 out of 3 people on planet Earth. My father owns Churchill Downs. My father owns and named the Preakness, and it goes on and on and on. My father has 7 horses in the Kentucky Derby. And this is just random people that this guy, and he's interviewing like 20-something-year-old white kids that you think wouldn't even be at the Kentucky Derby and asking them what their biggest flex is. My father owns 14 companies in 6 different states and 2 different countries. And then they get to the black dude. What's your biggest flex? I got $180,000 worth of jewelry around my neck. And they cut to another white person. Oh, yeah, my father owns all of the land that Best Buy electronic stores used to be on. And they go to somebody else who their father owns this. But you know what the key words were? First of all, my father. That's a missing link right there. But then when they get to the black dude, he was proud of his $180,000 worth of jewelry because that's all he had. I remember seeing fights. Now, obviously, people are intoxicated. When I was younger, I guess I was exposed to more things. I've aged out of being in places and spaces where people will act a fool because I don't want to see that. But somebody would fight you if you stepped on their shoes. People used to shoot each other. You guys remember triple fat gooses, the coats? The coats they used to have whistles on them because people would steal them. Like blowing a whistle while your coat's getting stolen is like a security measure. There's a coat that was real popular in the early 1990s called triple fat goose. There's really nothing special about it. It was just a name brand that I don't know where it came from. Probably we heard it in hip hop and then we made it culturally explosive to have a triple fat goose. People were killing each other over a winter jacket. People were shooting and killing each other over property. And I don't want to relegate this to race, but it's some of the best, most poignant example I can give. Do you know what white people shoot and kill each other over? Entire nations. Hey, I want to take this country from you and all the oil, all the natural gas, all the diamonds, all the zinc, all the bauxite. Bauxite is used to make aluminum. We'll kill each other because we want this entire country. We'll kill each other over some shoes. We don't own anything. And what we own is so meaningless in the grand scheme of things, but we're still willing to kill over. So I'm going to take a break. I really am going to take a break and come right back. I'm not going to go into another 10 minutes soliloquy, but I really want to. I'm going to give you the raw facts of how much or how little African Americans own in terms of real property, real estate, real land. Earlier in the program, I told a story about my grandfather who was born in 1905 in Itala County, Mississippi. He passed away in 1978. I did not really get to know him because I was only 3 years old when he passed. He barely had a middle school education, but he acquired some land, and that land is still in my family almost 50 years later to this very day. And he gave one demand of his family members, just one, Do not sell my land to white folks. This is a black man born in 1905 that died in 1978 that barely had a middle school education, and he knew something about capital preservation that black folks in 2026 who use AI don't even know anything about. My grandfather had the presence of mind. Once you acquire some land, you never sell it, especially to them, because they own all the land anyway. Damn it, I said I was going to break. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on May 12th.
Curio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they play the San Diego Padres.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in May 12th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
Tap into the best power hour in radio in Milwaukee.
So altogether, you're looking at $1,780 for your mortgage and for your property taxes in a year. And that's before you have to deal with, obviously, your water bill and electric bill. That's a steep price that people have to pay. And based off those numbers I just ran, to afford a home like that, you got to make $65,000 a year. But the problem is, here in Milwaukee, the median household income is only $54,234. That's out of whack. So again, I am all about affordability. I'm all about people getting homes. But what we have to understand is that until homes are more affordable, you can have a supply and demand problem. But the problem that we have here in the city of Milwaukee is that these prices, when people are listing these houses, they're listing them for prices that people really can't afford. And even if you do get the house and you're paying that, you're living paycheck to paycheck. Home ownership is not about living paycheck to paycheck. Home ownership is about finding something that fits within your budget and building equity for the future.
Catch Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It should be known that there is a sizable amount of property and land in America that is owned by like these like shell companies, LLCs, pension funds sometimes own land and property. You know who one of the biggest, I want to be accurate when I say this, it might be the largest real estate company in America, but it's really hard to tell because some of these, so you'll have these different vehicles, right? These different tax structures, and you'll have LLCs, and you'll have REITs, real estate investment trusts, and you never know who the owner is. So an example that might resonate with people here, Jose Barada owns a lot of property, like 10,000 units or something like that. He actually owns more than that. That's what we can trace to him. He owns 300 plus shell companies. Each of them own units, and not just here, in Arizona as well. When I heard the series of complaints, we've been hearing them for years about some of the Barada properties, and that's a long, complicated thing. Whenever you own, let's just use the example of 9,000 units, the army of human beings that you would need to maintain 9,000 units is insane. And also, can we put a little responsibility on some of the tenants? He's one of the only people that rents to people that have been evicted, and sometimes they just destroy property. But then when I think about, what white folks may say, like, oh, Sherwin, whenever there's civil unrest, why are you guys destroying your property? Do you know how many black people would burn a Barada property down if they could? Because it doesn't feel like home to them, and they certainly don't own it. But if we take the number, I think that's a publicly discussed number that Barada owns 9,000 units. He probably owns a lot more than that in shell companies that don't bear his name, because there are a lot of very creative ways in these shelters that a lot of folks don't understand of how you can hide your money and hide your assets. And a lot of it is to shield yourself from tax liabilities, but it's something that very, very wealthy people created so that they can maintain their capital and maintain their assets. And what do? They buy more. But I think the biggest real estate company, it's either globally or here in the United States, is, believe it or not, it's McDonald's. Makes no sense, right? It's not supposed to make any sense. McDonald's owns the acreage and the land. They own the building. They own the parking lot. And in some cities, let's say a McDonald's takes up, I don't know, 0.25% of an acre, quarter of an acre. But in some cities, that quarter of an acre is worth $3 million. And so if you want to get a McDonald's franchise, which if you want to do, that's entirely up to you. There was a period of time where if you wanted to be a franchisee, Subway was actually the most lucrative. I don't know if that's still true. But if you want to be a McDonald's franchisee, hell, they'll build you a McDonald's. They'll build it for you. They'll help you hire and train your employees. They'll get all the uniforms. But you as the franchisee, every single month, you are paying the McDonald's Corporation rent because you're renting that building and renting and leasing the land that the building is on. I don't know how many McDonald's there are. I'm sure it's something that Google can tell any one of you in 3.5 seconds, but I want you to do the math on that. And here's what McDonald's found when they redid their corporate structure once they found out that Americans are very fat and love hamburgers. But not anymore because, oh my God, everybody is on GLP-1s now. I used to know a fat girl. I don't know any fat girls anymore. Where are the fat girls? Seriously, ladies, you're losing too much weight. I like some thickums. Ain't nothing wrong being thick. I love it. It's soft. Ooh, man, listen to me. You listen. Don't get me started. Man, and not fake thickums. I don't like BBL thickums. I don't like silicone thickums. Silicone thickums was more popular in like the early 2000s is in the 90s when everybody liked them fake silicone thickums. Oh, nobody like no silicone. I like natural thickums. You know what I mean? Ooh-wee.
You like them thick, huh?
I kind of like them. I love women. I just love them. And sometimes they smell good and they'll say stuff to you, make you feel good. Men, I know this is hard for some women to believe. We love y'all way more than you could ever love us. Y'all love what we can do for you. And I totally get it. Women have got to be hypergamous. You got to find the best man you possibly can because of what he can do for you. He can protect you. He can provide you. Because it's a dangerous world if you're just a woman who's out here just solo. So I totally get it. But if we actually had the true ability as men to make women as happy as they make us, then they would be the ones proposing. I was talking about fat people. There's no fat people anymore. So here's what McDonald's found out. What is the best way that we can make our land more valuable? What is the one thing that we can do that can increase the value of the real estate that we own? Sell hamburgers. Because the space will always be utilized. The business will always make money, and McDonald's can respond. Think about all the McDonald's burgers and sandwiches that have come and gone. The best I got a top 3 best all-time McDonald's sandwiches or burgers ever. The Filet-O-Fish stands alone. I could go to the fanciest steak restaurant in the city of Milwaukee, and if they put a Filet-O-Fish on the menu, Don't bet against me. The cheddar melt, at least an honorable mention. Okay? I feel like the McRib needs, and I'm not talking about, oh, Sherwin, that's not real meat. It don't matter. Tastes real to me. Tastes real. That's all we're concerned about. I feel like sometimes when you eat fast food, because you're not supposed to eat it because it's unhealthy, it's like sleeping with a prostitute. Like you do it in a dark alley in your vehicle. You don't want anybody to see. Got sauce spilled all over your shirt. You feel ashamed of yourself, but you gotta have it. You know what I mean? I gotta have that. I gotta. So cheddar melt. I want to put a McRib somewhere in the mix. A quarter pounder with cheese is probably one of the most sophisticated yet simple classic burgers because it has tasted exactly the same for like 50 years. I would say the 1990s Big Mac, the modern day Big Mac has gotten too small. It's not even a Big Mac anymore. It's just like a little Mac, a baby Mac. And then one that you may not remember from the 1980s, it was called the McDLT, where it was like a double styrofoam container. And McDonald's don't even use styrofoam anymore. Remember when all your McDonald's sandwiches came in styrofoam, and then one day in the 80s we're like, oh, styrofoam like messes up the environment, and they started wrapping everything in paper. So it would be this double styrofoam container. On one side was the top bun, the lettuce, tomato, and the onions. And styrofoam is a great insulator. So it kept the lettuce, the tomato, the onions cool. And on the other side of the styrofoam container, you had the bottom bun, and you also had the burger patty, and it kept it hot. And the slogan was, keep the hot side hot, keep the cool side cool. And you would open up this double container, and you would build that burger yourself. And it was a culinary masterpiece. That, to me, probably the best McDonald's burger in history. But because they stopped using styrofoam and they had to reduce or eliminate the gimmick of the hot side hot and the cool side cool, the McDLT faded away with it. But McDonald's is one of the top real estate companies because they figure, okay, if we sell hamburgers, then the value of this real estate is going to be valuable forever. And here's the other thing. McDonald's don't sell their land. We got a McDonald's that closed on that's right next to the rave, like 24th and Wisconsin Avenue. It closed. I guarantee it's not going to be a Taco Bell. It's not going to be a Wendy's. If anything, they'll build another McDonald's, or they will just hold that land forever. Okay, so I said all that to say this. I got to take a break. All right, when I come back from the break, I'm going to give you, to the best that we can approximate, because remember, a lot of land in America is held by these shell companies and LLCs and real estate trusts and pension funds. But once you dig down to the nitty gritty, there's only a very small handful of families in the entire country that own almost all of the private property. Between the federal government and governments, because governments own a lot of land too. So City Hall, the police departments, fire departments, all of our schools, governments own that land. And the federal government owns, national parks and probably millions of acres of wilderness. They own a lot of Alaska, et cetera, et cetera. But the number of people that own the vast majority of the land it's staggering, but it also explains the wealth disparity. And while there's no Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Democratic socialist policy that is going to redistribute that wealth, if a small number of people continue to hold on to that land. This is something that even my grandfather knew. Born in 1905 in Itala County, Mississippi, who barely had a middle school education, he was able to acquire some land, and he said, do not ever sell my land to white folks, because even he knew, with barely a middle school education, that they already own so much land, and once we sell it to them, they keep it forever. And then the value of that land, the appreciation of that land, is what they borrow against to buy more land. This is such a simple concept that a black man born in the worst parts of Jim Crow and arguably the worst place in the country, even he knew that. And I will be damned if any member of my family sells a piece of that land. If they're going to sell it, because I got a couple cousins that want to sell. You know what I mean? I got to watch them. Hell, I made them an offer because we're all together for my father's funeral. I made my cousin. I think I was drunk because we were drinking. We got the family together. We were sad. My dad died. And I think I made a cash offer to one of my cousins to buy the land. Like, I'm ready to do the contract right now. Go get the paper. I'll buy the land. And I offered him a lot of money for it, but he didn't take it. I probably should revisit that idea sober. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
At Milwaukee College Prep, we don't leave success to chance. We're designed for it. With strong support, high expectations, and a team committed to excellence, our educators turn belief into outcomes every day. If you believe every child deserves an excellent education, join Milwaukee College Prep. Apply today. Visit mkeprep.com/jobs.
Do you hear that? And that? And that? Those are the sounds of a healthy and vibrant community. And to this United Way volunteer, nothing sounds better. They're the sounds of children being given greater chances to succeed in school. The sounds of neighbors receiving the support needed to overcome challenges, both big and small. They're the sounds of families gaining access to quality health care and nutritious food for their tables. And they're the sounds of members of our community who've benefited from United Way's financial education programs. See, wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. People working together to respond and growing the good for everyone. United is the way. So join us by getting involved or giving back. Learn more at unitedway.org.
70 million people in the U.S. have learning and thinking differences, like ADHD and dyslexia. Each has their own story. This is ours. At first, I thought it was just a phase. Then schoolwork became a struggle. Emotions got bigger, and my kids started falling behind. I felt alone, like I was lost in the dark trying to find answers. Then I learned about Understood.org, a nonprofit empowering parents and kids like us. It was like we had a light to show us the path ahead. Whenever new challenges came up, their guidance helped us figure out our next step. We still have tough days, but now we have direction. And I have the tools and resources I need to help my child thrive. No matter where you are on the path, Understood can help you keep moving forward. Visit understood.org/yourpath today.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. It doesn't cost you anything. It's also a way in which you can keep up with a very fluid situation. I suppose that's a diplomatic way of putting it. And also, I'm going to start posting more independent content on that YouTube channel, because I think that really is the wave of the future, right? Everybody has their own independent place on YouTube where they can share their thoughts, feelings, and viewpoints in an unbridled and unrestrained way. My YouTube channel is Hughes Views 414. That's also the name of our Facebook group. And we have an Instagram account and also a TikTok. And I'm going to have to start putting more videos on the TikTok. But Hughes Views 414 on YouTube, if you search that. And also, I think I put a link in this YouTube chat. Oh, if you look at, hang on, let me look at the YouTube here. Let me see. Because I think that my My caption, right? Oh, yeah, there it is right there. Hughes at Hughes Views 414. So when you go to the 1017 The Truth YouTube, I don't know how they let me get away with that. Is that doing too much? No, it's not. We've been sold. Technically, they bought the truth. They didn't buy me. That's just me being honest. I'm not a commodity. By the plantation, slaves sold separately. Thank you, Xavier. Okay. Let's see. So that would be youtube.com/@Hughes Views 414. Looks about right. Okay. Make sure I spelled everything right. You know what's embarrassing? Sometimes I'll post a comment or I'll give, like a narration of like a picture or something or a video I post and I spell something wrong. I hate that because I got fat fingers. My thumbs need GLP-1s because I got my thumbs is thick with 3 C's. And sometimes because the keyboard on my phone is little. There's a what is the name of this? It's a term. Not the newness trend. So whenever a new something comes out, like a new phone, like you iPhone people are insane. Y'all are insane. Your phones break. You get ripped off because you have to get them fixed and get them serviced. This cell phone I have right here is almost 10 years old, and I just have a tiny little hairpin crack in the bottom corner, small little tiny crack. You can barely see it. I have dropped this phone at least 2 times a week on a hardwood floor for almost 10 years and the screen doesn't crack. You iPhone people sneeze too hard and your phone's cracking. Plus, like all of your different services are all Apple specific. There was even a period of time where you iPhone people, you couldn't even charge your phone with a regular USB-C charger or a mini USB charger. You had to get a specific like iPhone charger. That is how Apple has been able to rip y'all off. I think it's called the upgrade trend. So whenever the new something comes out, some of y'all spend $500, $600, $1,000 on the new phone just to have it. That is the poorest financial decision you can possibly make. Because think about over the last, I don't know how many, 10 or 15 years, for all of you people that have to have the newest phone, look how much money you've given to Apple. They are $1 trillion company because of that, because they are ripping people off. I'm not going to get into it with no iPhone people because y'all are an army. But just know that they created a cult-like following that has iPhone people addicted to Apple products. In fact, I never even got, when everybody had the little music things, a little iPod, that's what they were, a little Apple Music Play. I never got one of those. I got the other ones. They were Android affiliated. All right, let's talk about who owns all the property. All right, I got to make sure you guys understand that there's a lot of property that is owned by LLCs, trusts, pension funds, and a lot of these are just to disguise the individual people that actually own the property because they use these convenient vehicles, so we never know who owns a lot of the property and a lot of real estate. But one of the reasons why we have this major wealth disparity is because once they acquire property, they accumulate it. Now, there'll be some property that they'll buy and they'll sell and they'll trade like corporate real estate in metropolitan areas and big cities. But for the most part, families own land, and some of this goes back even to the antebellum period. If a particular family owned, let's say, 1,000 acres of agricultural land and they used slave labor. So at that time, the value of their human property exceeded the value of that 1,000 acres. Okay? That's the truth. Slaves and people in bondage were worth more than all of the land cumulatively that those plantation owners held. Emancipation Proclamation, slaves were freed. Okay? So now those plantation owners only have the land for value. Do you think that they sold any of it? They did not. And you know what some of that plantation land turned into? Cities. Oh, we're going to build a new government building here. Imagine the city hall of a particular building in anywhere in the South leasing that land from a former plantation owning family, and that's where black people go to pay their tickets and to go to jail. It's crazy, right? You think they're selling that land? Governments can sign leases with some of these families in perpetuity, meaning this family is going to get $300,000 a month from municipal government, from county government, from federal government, because they want to place their buildings on land that is privately owned, and there's a lease contract. That family will never be broke. If not a single person in that family ever works again, it's still $250,000 coming in every month. That's the flex. My grandfather knew that, and my grandmother had to teach him how to read, but at least he knew about land and capital. And he died in 1978, born in the Jim Crow South. My understanding of land and the value of it is generational in my family. I don't ever plan on selling my house, but I bet you I'll borrow against it. I might Airbnb it. Nah, I don't know if I would. I can't imagine another human being. And when you Airbnb, when you rent a house, that's theirs. There's a contract. It's a short-term lease agreement. It really is a rental. I can't have somebody walking around naked in my house. I don't like that. If somebody's going to walk around naked in my house, it's going to be me. Because, I walked around naked in somebody else's Airbnb. Just thanging. And don't let it be a windy day. I think I'll walk outside on the deck. Just thanging. When I went to Florida, I stayed in the most beautiful Airbnb I've ever seen in my life. That house is $999,000. It's for sale. I can't. But the woman that owns it, she makes a killing. So if you want to stay, and I ain't going to tell y'all where it is. It's in Madeira Beach, which arguably I think is one of the most beautiful places in Florida. It's not even like a real place. It's just beautiful. Dolphins and stuff swimming all over the place. It's amazing. So what month this is May. I would be lucky to be able to book that Airbnb for Thanksgiving, and it's May. It's a white lady that owns it. She's real cool. She probably knew I was walking around naked. I don't care. I paid good money. My thing was thanging. I sat on a couch naked. You know how you sit on the couch and you just lay out, you got the remote control, and you just spread your legs. Okay. White Americans overwhelmingly own the majority of private property, held wealth, land, and real estate in the United States of America. African Americans own a disproportionately small share relative to their population size. The top 1% owns an enormous concentration of property and investment assets compared to the bottom 99%. So there's something in this story that makes it. Here we go. If we condensed the entire population of America down to 100 people, so there's probably 340 million people in this country, but if we condensed it down to just 100 people, okay, the population of America is 100 people. One human being out of that 100. Now, remember, we're condensing the entire population of America down to just 100 people so I can show you the disparity in land ownership, okay? One person would own 35% of the land. 99 people, the other 99 people are sharing 65% of the land. Better yet, if America only had 100 people and the combined wealth of this nation was condensed down to just $100, one person has $35. The other 99 of us are splitting $65. Take a break, come back, get into a little bit more detail about how lopsided property ownership is and why they never sell it. And if they never sell it, we'll never be able to own it. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. All your favorite interviews and best moments live in one place.
I love your perspective, Sherwin.
Thank you.
You do a great job.
Appreciate
you do a great job. I downloaded the app so I can listen to you in the evening sometimes because you make a great difference in how you present things in many ways, politically, socially, financially. You do a great job.
Download the new 1017 The Truth app now. Milwaukee Black Talk. 1017 The Truth.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your family's tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on where you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Don't miss one of Milwaukee's favorite summer traditions, the U-Path Ride for Arts, presented by Miller Lite, returns Sunday, May 31st. Ride a fully closed 20-mile course across the Hone Bridge with incredible lakefront views. Kids 12 and under ride free thanks to the Brewers Community Foundation. All in support of Southeastern Wisconsin performing arts. 7 a.m. start, finish at UPath Fest on Summerfest grounds. Register today at upathride.org. That's UPAFRIDE.org.
Bikers need protection, not just from other drivers, but unfortunately from insurance companies too. We've been fighting for injured bikers and their families for more than 30 years. Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Prizes, exclusive experiences, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting truthcontests.com. That's truthcontests.com.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Make sure you follow my YouTube channel at Hughes Views 414. A lot of people are subscribed. That's great. I was stuck at 200 because I didn't really do much with it. You know what I mean? Now we're knocking on 500. Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, we're doing all right. Can do better, obviously. So doesn't cost you anything. Subscribe to Hughes Views 414 on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Now I'm going to start posting a little bit more, as I should be anyway, because I want to be able to share my thoughts and my opinions that are free and unbridled. You know what I'm saying? Who owns the most wealth and property in America? White Americans overwhelmingly own the majority of privately held wealth, land, and real estate in the United States. A fella called a little while ago and said, so much for 40 acres and a mule. We were never going to get that because of what we could have did with it. Imagine just spread out through the American South if African Americans were each given 40 acres. And I'm not sure who would get it. Would some kids get it? Would the grandparents get it? Would the entire lineage of a family get it? Some families had 10 people. Would all 10 of them get 40 acres? Bottom line is we would have owned tens or hundreds of millions of acres of land in the South. A lot of southern cities are built on or utilize land that was owned by plantation owners. So what was supposed to happen is the plantation owners, so they lost their property, which was human beings. They were also supposed to lose their land. That was the reparation. So if a plantation owner had 1,000 acres and they had, let's say, 10 slaves. I'm just using this because it's easy math. Each of those slaves would get 100 acres. Now imagine some of that land would just remain agricultural. People would use it to grow food. They would buy their own houses, etc. But some of that land spread throughout the South would become like suburban Atlanta. Some of that land would become El Paso, Texas, or Austin, Texas, or Dallas, Texas, or Houston, Texas. Some of that land had oil underneath it. You understand? They screwed us. I'm so mad. So they didn't give us our land. And think about if we didn't sell it, black people would control the real estate in Southern America and all of the resources. So, you ever heard of these schools? They're 4-year colleges and universities. They have a A&T or an A&M, like a Texas A&T, a Texas A&M, a Florida A&M. You guys familiar with those kind of schools? It's an A&M would be agriculture and mining, or an A&T would be agriculture and technology. Okay, these were land grant schools. So when land was divvied up and divided up, mostly by the federal government, this is our land now. It should have been ours. It should have been given to us. They freed us as people, but they left the capital with the same people that owned us. Okay, the Emancipation Proclamation didn't go far enough. And then they killed Abraham Lincoln. And we don't know how far Abraham Lincoln would have gone. Would he have given us our land as more punishment for the South? I'm not entirely sure. But I don't think that he was able to finish the job because the South needed to be punished. The punishment that they received did not fit the crime, because look at how the South dehumanized black people for another 100 years on our land. We farmed that land. We made that land valuable. But so the A&Ts, the A&Ts and the A&Ms, these are colleges that were built because white people that were able to now confiscate that land, especially as we move further west, didn't know how to farm it. They didn't know how to extract the minerals from that land. They had no idea, especially European farmers. They didn't know what to do with that land. I remember this land should have been ours. The government started colleges and universities to teach white people how to extract the minerals and how to farm that land. That is where the A&T and A&M colleges come from. And it's a strike in our face. It's a slap in our face because that's supposed to be our land. They didn't build us colleges so that we could learn how to extract the value and the wealth out of our land. See, that's why you don't sell the land, because once you excavate the land rather, you find out, we have gold on this land. Oh my God, there's oil reserves under this land. Could you imagine if we owned Texas as black people? That when they are complaining about the price of a barrel of crude oil, a consortium of African-American landowners in Texas would decide of how much crude oil that we as black people would release on the global market. A man just took a picture of me through the window here wearing my bonnet. I forgot I'm wearing a bonnet. My bonnet gives me superpowers. And so he's waving to me. Hey, man, they just took a picture of me wearing a bonnet. I wonder where that picture going to end up.
On Facebook.
Share of the U.S. population, white Americans are 59%. They own 86% of the total wealth and property in the country, at 59%. And you got to keep in mind, don't let that number deceive you. Of that 59% of white people, 10% of them own 86% of the wealth and property. There's so many poor white people in this country. There are more under or just at, even just above the federal poverty line. You got to keep in mind. So in these days and times where everything's getting more expensive, right? Gas is getting more expensive. The grocery expenses hasn't really hit us yet because a lot of companies and trucking companies are still absorbing the cost of diesel fuel that trucks a lot of our fruits and vegetables. And the tariffs was just a scam anyway. That was a whole scam. So even if you're 10 or 15% above the poverty line, this is what people don't often discuss. Gas prices go up by a nickel, and now you're closer to the poverty line. Gas prices go up by another 10%, and somebody that was 10 or 15% above the poverty line is now at it. Gas prices go up by $1, and someone who was originally 10 or 15% above the federal poverty line is now 10 or 15% below it. The vast majority of the people, I got to say this, over and over again, especially for the people in the back. The vast majority of the people in this country that are poor are white. The reason why we have SNAP benefits and a welfare program, it wasn't to feed hungry black people. They were content to let us starve. It's because of the sheer number of poor white people. Because keep in mind, poor white people can't buy this land either, so they're going to remain poor. There are more poor white people receiving some kind of government assistance than there are black people in total in the United States of America. They'd have you think the opposite. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 3.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tune into the award-winning 1017 The Truth Community Spotlight this Wednesday at 3:57 p.m. between the Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. We'll be speaking with Nicole Lorino, the 2026 chair for March for Babies. She will discuss how March for Babies brings families and caregivers together to support healthier moms, stronger babies, and life-saving NICU care through the March of Dimes. Again, that is the Community Spotlight this Wednesday with the March of Dimes at 3:57 p.m. right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Milwaukee business owners, this is your moment. Every Friday at 8 a.m., call in to 101.7 The Truth for What the Business Is. Tell us what your business is, where you're located, and one thing you've learned along the way. What the Business is powered by We Energies, delivering the energy that powers local business. Fridays at 8 a.m. on 101.7 The Truth. Fridays at 8 a.m. on 101.7 The Truth.
Want to protect our planet? The air we breathe, water we drink, and land we share? Real progress begins with birds. Yes, birds. The very ones we see and hear every day. On a walk, in the park, or simply out the window. That's because birds are more than birds. They're symbols, sentinels that reveal the health of our planet and our people. And by helping them thrive, all of us thrive as well. Audubon is a place where birds matter, where habitats are protected, where communities are engaged, and where change takes flight. Because at Audubon, hope begins with birds. Progress begins with birds. It all begins with birds. Audubon.
When I was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma, I had so many questions. I didn't even know that it was cancer. Now I do. It is cancer. Blood cancer. It's actually one of more than 100 different types, and they're all treated differently. Now, unlike some other forms of cancer, usually there's no tumor. You can't screen for it to prevent it, and the symptoms can look like other things, so it could be hard to diagnose. I had a fever for weeks. I was so tired all the time. I didn't feel like eating or doing anything else for that matter. And I know that this can feel scary. But if you know what to look out for, you'll know what to tell your doctor. And you'll feel more empowered to take the next steps. Like getting in touch with the people who know the ins and outs and can help with everything blood cancer related. Blood Cancer United. They work one-on-one with each person who reaches out to answer questions and offer resources. Blood Cancer United was there for me, and they can be there for you.
Go to bloodcancerunited.org to learn more.
Truth Nation, stand up and tap in. This is 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. That's my name. Talking about who owns all this land, and they don't sell it. Now, there is some real estate that is available for purchase, and that's houses. Earlier in the YouTube chat, you guys chat so fast I can't really keep up with what you're saying because you guys chat in real time. Somebody said they're buying their first house. I'm proud of that. And they're not buying it in the city of Milwaukee. That's cool with me. I don't require any of you. I'm not one of those people like, oh, just tough it out. No, buy in the city of Milwaukee. I could see if we had a larger number of people, if it was culturally relevant for black people to want to buy the black community, but they don't. I want you to own property that you never sell, where you can realize the value of it and then live off of the value of your appreciating property and borrow against it, and then you borrow against the equity in your home to buy another one and another one and another one and another. Next thing you know, you're a black Barada. And if you had 9,000 units, stop lying. You'd be a terrible landlord too. Let's talk to the town. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
How you doing?
Doing good. What's on your mind?
I got a question. I ain't been I don't know. I just been catching this story late though, so I'm on the late show. So forgive me though. Now, this thing with y'all radio station and the sale or whatever like that. Like, could you walk me through that? Because the last time that I heard about y'all that radio station and the owner and what they doing, I heard he was doing real well with the radio station. Like I thought something I heard saying that he grew it into $1 million business.
Which radio station you talking about?
This radio station, The Truth.
Oh, you know more than I do. I don't know how much money it's worth. I don't know.
And I heard something like it raised a lot of money, like from its inception. No, my bad. Let me say that over again. Since the time he took it over to like recently or whatever like that, and then he sold into a trust.
Yep.
I'm kind of confused about. I'm kind of confused about this. Could you walk me through this, please?
So 101 radio stations being bought and sold is common. So I worked for 101.7 before it was The Truth because this frequency was owned by somebody else. Then Good Karma Brands bought 101.7, the FM signal. They created this. Turn your radio down. Turn it off. I'm hearing the echo. They created the 101.7 The Truth for the last 5 years. Then they decided, the owner, Craig Karmazin and others, decided to sell it to this black media trust where the Milwaukee Courier newspaper, WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM, and 101.7 The Truth will all be in this black media trust that will be controlled by a board, and then there's a number of trustees. And what this will do is prevent these black media institutions from being bought and sold like they have been in the past. So these operators of this trust have purchased 101.7 The Truth, and they, of course, have their ideas and suggestions of what they would like to do with 101.7 The Truth. I don't necessarily know what their plans are, and I also know that I don't have to agree with them. Even though they are the new owners, I still have my autonomy, and I can either decide to continue on under new ownership, or I can decide I want to do something entirely different. But I know this much: in the years that I have been doing broadcast radio, I am exhausted of when you get someplace and you're just starting to get your sea legs and you're getting comfortable. Boom, it was sold to somebody who wants to take it in a totally different direction, which, let me be clear, unless I own my own radio station, you absolutely can buy and sell an asset that is not mine that I work for. But whether I want to stick around for these new ideas of this new ownership is entirely up to me. They bought the station. They did not buy me. So that's about where we at the town.
Is the trust? Who are the people that own the trust? Like, are they black people?
No.
Are they people? Oh.
It's a guy named Sage Weil, Sageweil. He is the owner of a company called Civic Media. Civic Media owns, 20 plus radio stations in the state of Wisconsin. If you look him up, you'll see what his formula is. But I think it was his idea and also his money to create this trust. What it tells me is that, let's say there's a legitimate, incredible black owner that wants to buy these black media institutions. They can't. They'd have to go through the trust, which makes it more difficult for an actual black media owner to purchase these assets. And it's too much for me. And I'm tired, I'm worn out, and I have to make a decision fairly soon on what I'm going to do. But either way, I'm going to be broadcasting on my YouTube channel. Hello?
You ain't wrong about
You're breaking up on us, buddy. You're breaking up. You can't do it when you're breaking up. I hope that explained it for people that I don't want to get too much into it because a lot of stuff is just still up in the air because no one is telling us anything which isn't good. Because in the business of communication, if you lack communication with the communicators, it doesn't build trust. Here's him calling me. Yeah, your phone was breaking up on us. It was doing this weird thing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
My
better
bad,
now.
My bad.
I hope that answered the question.
No, I got one quick question now because I was reading about it because I can't catch your show like I used to. But like when I listened to it, like on off hours, I read up on it and it said something about like some black people was going to be involved with it, like Malayla Cogs or whatnot like that. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, she's a member of the trust. Romel Brown, who has been with the Milwaukee Courier for many, many years. And then there is a woman by the name of Tiffany Wynn. Tiffany Wynn is affiliated with Ascension, the hospital group, and I think she has some marketing experience. And then there's a board, and the board consists of some people we might know, some people we might not know. Here's the problem. There is no one with actual broadcast experience in the African-American community that is representing the best interest. Now, they have like business experience, but if you haven't done this work, it don't matter what else you've done in your life professionally because this work is unique. And so the problem, and I have many problems, and so do my colleagues, there is nobody representing the people that actually put together content that our audience has been wanting and asked for. And I prioritize y'all, the audience, over anything else because if y'all are kept in the dark, and if the audience is disrespected, and if someone who has no media experience at all puts together, because they always have these grand ideas of what they think media and radio can be. They literally have no clue. And, oh, Sherwin, we can do this. No, you can't. When does that ever work? Well, we're going to try. We ain't experimenting with nothing when it comes to my people and the information that they get in 2026. The time for experimenting is over. These are fragile institutions, especially because Donald Trump has an erection to take away media that is against him. And so we over here playing and experimenting, but that's coming from people that don't know the art and the craft of delivering information to my people. So that's where we're at.
It seemed like when I read about it, and they mentioned Malay. This from a reader and an outside looking in. When I read the little article, I was like, well, okay, I see ACCNOV. Okay, I see the Milwaukee Courier. Okay, I see Malayla Cogs and the Cogs name. As a reader, and you read that from an outside looking in, you get a sense of, okay, it couldn't be so bad. WNOV is black. Milwaukee Courier, black. Malayla Cogs and the other black people that's doing well up in the city, that's, you know what I'm saying, they're black. So from the outside, it seemed like, what's the problem? You know what I'm saying?
The Courier and WNOV are not black.
What?
They were sold to Civic Media, a white liberal progressive named Sage Wild. Go look it up, brother.
You say Sage Wild?
SAGEWEIL, Sage Wild. He's a white man. He's from California. He bought the Courier and he bought WNOV. They are not black owned.
Oh.
I'm gonna let you sit with that, but I gotta go. I gotta get some other stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. I need that information. Thank you. I'll look up.
All right.
You have a good day.
You too. You're welcome. Remember how I was telling you about my grandfather that said, don't ever sell my land to them people? Gerald Jones was the owner and proprietor of Courier Communications for better than 50 years. WNOV was his mama's radio station. I learned more from Gerald Jones in the years that I worked for Courier Communications and WNOV, and some of you remember my days at WNOV. I progressed tremendously as a radio host at WNOV in the years that I was there under the tutelage of Gerald Jones, who was a mad scientist genius when it comes to both business and media. I learned more from Gerald Jones in my years working at WNOV than I learned from every single one of my college professors that granted and bestowed upon me a bachelor's degree. And I'm still understating what I learned about him. Let me tell you what I know about Gerald Jones. He never would have sold his mama's radio station to white folks, just like my grandfather told members of my family, don't ever sell my land to them people. Gerald Jones dies and they sell Courier Communications and his mama's radio station to white folks. How do you think I feel about that? How do you think I feel about that? Let's talk to Brian. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
Pretty good. I just wanted to wish you well, brother. It's been a long ride, very long ride, very contentious and very informative.
I mean, I'm not getting off
like
the train
I said
yet.
years ago. Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, for this era of the truth, you were the best radio talk show host I've ever heard. Period. And I just want to thank you for all the enjoyment and time that we had on the truth. Period. And if they don't see that this formula works, I mean, I don't think anybody's even going to listen to the radio station if they don't keep it exactly the way it is. There's nothing wrong with keeping it on the same path, paying everybody the same or more. We know certain people need more, but I can't see them screwing up the formula. I can't do it. I can't see it. But you're right. Liberals do weird things. But let's hope not. But if so, I just want to say thank you for giving me 5 years of enjoyment. These times on the radio and everything I've heard on the radio has been so much fun for me. So much fun. So
thank you, Brian.
Love you, brother.
Love you too.
Take care.
All right, now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, I don't know what happens with this, but at some point, as a host who is dedicated to providing information that I come to find out is not really available anywhere else, I take this very seriously, and I cannot be involved with unserious people and this is not me, like, attacking anybody, but if you don't know the skill set needed, and if you don't have years of experience in doing that, and Milwaukee is a unique place. I told y'all last week about they had me sit down with, some people from NOV and then a white dude representing Civic Media, and dude got loud with me. Like, he yelled at me talking about, I've been in radio for 50 years. I don't care if you've been a brain surgeon for 200 years. If you have not worked in this market and broadcasted to our people, your 50 years means nothing. That only means something to you. It's like if you were all that, whatever his name is, then I would know who you are. I never heard of you a day in my life. I know Mr. Jones. Let me tell you something. I know that Mr. Jones, when he was alive, he never would have sold his radio station to white folks. Because let me tell you what, there were some business owners while I was there broadcasting at WNOV, and the station at the time, it wasn't doing very well. Some white folks that I know put together a cash offer for Gerald Jones for $750,000 in cash for his radio station. Now, what I did know is he had planned to expand. This is before we even had the FM signal. Now you can listen to WNOV on FM. When I was there, we brought that radio station back from the dead because they were off air. I was the first talk show host. Well, the second, technically. They put me with somebody else, and I couldn't work with that person, so I just said, you know what? I'm going to let her have her show. They ended up firing her and giving me my own show. And we built that thing back up to where when WMCS 1290 went off the air, we hired all them people. All the while I was doing this work, I was not collecting a salary for 40 months. And we built it back, and I'm proud of what WNOV became until I wasn't proud of it anymore. And I was okay with not getting paid for rebuilding that radio station because it was such an important cultural institution founded by Gerald Jones's mama, that it was worth it for me to give all of my time, my energy, and my effort to providing shows and providing information to one day hope that WNOV could be self-sufficient, and it was. And I knew that investment that I put in, where I wasn't getting paid from the radio station. I still was making money. I had other endeavors. But I knew that investment is going to pay off. It's paying off now. It's paying off now. So I am still recouping dividends from the years that I gave to WNOV. And I did all that all for people that I believed in, because I also wanted to bring in voices that I didn't think got amplified enough. And then to have a host over at WNOV take their platform to humiliate me or attempt to humiliate me, that's all coming back full circle too. So we got a lot to discuss in that regard. But I just know the similarities between Gerald Jones and my grandfather, and that's why I'm so offended. I'm so offended. Like, we as black people own so little, and what we do have, we sell to them. And it just makes me sick, because it goes against everything that I've ever talked about. Everything that I've ever discussed, we do the opposite. All right, I'm going to take a break, come back, take some phone calls. We didn't really get to the wealth disparity stuff. We can talk about that tomorrow. Because that ain't going away anytime soon. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The revolution starts in our mind, right? You know when Gil Scott-Heron said the revolution won't be televised? Like he didn't mean that you won't be able to watch it on TV. He means the revolution starts in your mind. You nincompoop. Y'all been running around saying that for 60 years. The revolution won't be televised, and didn't even know what the hell it meant. It starts with us.
Let him cook. Watch all your favorite 1017 The Truth shows by subscribing to 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your families tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home.
Still think you're going to use those old chemicals just sitting around under the sink, in the garage, or down in the basement? We're talking things like old antifreeze, paint thinners, batteries, propane cylinders, and pesticides. So don't let them sit there. Get rid of them right away. To MMSD's Home Hazmat Drop-Off Centers. It's safe, it's easy, and it's open to all Milwaukee County residents. There are 3 locations open year-round. Let's clean up Milwaukee.
At UW Credit Union, our home loans have everything you need for your next big step, including up to $750 off closing costs for all home buyers. And first-time buyers can save even more. So if you're ready to trade roomies for more room, or your townhome for an out-of-town home, UW Credit Union will be with you from start to furnished. UW Credit Union. Apply online today. Equal housing lender. Credit may be limited as required by program. Visit uwcu.org for details.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Bike crash? Call Gruber Law Offices.
One call, that's all.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Eight 212-1017. 833-212-1017. Black Conscious. You're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
I'm well, not as yourself, and health is wealth. Why is everybody giving their well wishes like you finna go turn yourself into the federal custodies or something?
Well, whenever there's changes, I think people are prepared for the worst. So they just want to, I don't know. And I've been through a bunch of different buys and sells and all sorts of program changes, so you never know what's going to happen on the other side.
But what is the changes that we speak of?
Everything. Hosts, producers, lineup.
Okay, they can bring all the producers and the hosts they want, but that won't take nothing away from you and the truth that you bring.
Maybe.
What we said, they're selling the radio station.
It's already sold.
True, what I saw?
It's already been sold.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's been sold for who knows how long. We found out about it maybe a week and a half ago. We as in the...
And this is how you silence the truth. Because next you're going to have, next week, you're listening to The Truth Admitting with your host, Barbara Baba. And we're talking about that type of changes?
I have no idea, brother. I wish I could tell you. I don't know. I know that
you know what?
All of us here we have an audience. We have our own platforms that we can develop. So whatever they do with this, it is not up to me. Let me be abundantly clear. Whoever purchased this, they have their own ideas. And as the owner of something, they can do whatever they want with it. They can change the color of the walls. They can do all sorts of things. It ain't got nothing to do with me. That's something that they want to do.
Well, that much is true, and I believe that. Look how they did my young brother and the young lady. They just axed them out of nowhere. But wherever you go, brother, you got a follower in me. I follow you wherever you go. I listen, and we're just gonna let that be.
Thank you. It's very nice of you to say. Okay, then. Okay, bye-bye. All right. Andy, you're on 1017 The Truth. How are you, Andy?
I've been better. I'm really stunned, actually. I had no idea the Milwaukee Courier and WNV was sold. And during the break, I looked it up. It was sold December? How would people know that? I mean, I don't. It's just that they come in these entities that disrupt black unified organizations and entities and infiltrate. So 2 questions. Why do we sell out, number one? Number two, how will people know this? And where should listeners go to get good information? Assuming the worst happens to this station here.
You can say, I have a YouTube channel where you can follow me, but here's the thing. The private sale of a business is not going to be made public. Now, the sale of Courier Communications was public, but you have to really pay attention to all sorts of different news sources to be able to get that kind of information. But I thought that everybody knew that Courier Communications had been sold. So wherever you found out about it, whatever that source was, clearly it's available somewhere. But I thought that everybody knew that it was sold.
Well,
but that's
no,
not. Nobody's taking
idea.
over.
I had no idea.
Andy, let me be clear. So when somebody comes and offers a black media entity a price, don't think that that's white people like, oh, they're coming and taking over. That takes a black person willing to sell. White folks can't buy what's not for sale. So, yeah, I don't want us to look at like, the white folks are coming. The white folks are coming with money, and black people are saying, there's cash value. So, no, this is not. White people are going to do what they do. And we have to expect that they're going to do what they do. So let's not look at it as, they're coming to take over. They're coming to buy stuff that's for sale. If it's not for sale, they can't buy it.
I know that. Okay. I know that. And so again, where can we? So what I saw during the break was that Milwaukee Journal Sentinel and then UrbanMilwaukee.com, which I review regularly. There was a press release on UrbanMilwaukee.com. Do you have any suggestions as far as where people can get, some mediocre neutral news? Number one, and then no. Okay, and then the Courier. What about the Times, Milwaukee Times? Is that black owned still?
I don't know. That's the honest answer. I don't know who owns that.
Oh Lord.
Sorry.
Godspeed, Sherwin, and
I'll be
again,
fine. Don't worry about it. No, I'm good.
I'm not. No. My concern is we're under fascism, okay? And so to get honest, factual-based news, especially as a minority group, is dwindling and almost gone. And so that's why I'm looking for. That's why I'm sad. I know that you guys are you're still in the air today and whatnot. That can change in a blink of an eye. And no, I'm not saying that white people do this and white people do that. I'm not suggesting that. But I understand that black-owned groups oftentimes they sell out. They sell. I shouldn't say sell out, but they sell. Mm-hmm. And so. I just want us to be able to still mount and build upon this factual-based, what we can do to support our neighborhoods, our communities, our people, our groups. That's where I'm coming from.
There are individual content creators that will provide you that news, but you also said that we're living in fascism. The first clue that you're living in fascism is you don't get unbiased news. So the fact that you admitted we're in fascism and you're also looking for objective, unbiased news, you probably are not going to get it because that's a cornerstone of fascism. But Andy, don't worry. Everything's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. We've been through this kind of stuff before. Hell, we've been through worse. We'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
All right. Then.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Go get a cup of coffee. Get you a donut. Get you a bowl of cereal. Frosted Flakes, arguably, best breakfast cereal ever. Yeah, just relax, Urban. No. We're good. We're fine. What pains me about this is how our listeners are kicked around like there's some kind of a commodity. They are not, because when you lose them forever. Rarely does someone come back if you disaffect a listener. And that's what they want, because the listeners have buying power and purchasing power, right? So there's a big listener base, and you run ads and commercials to that listener base. The likelihood that those listeners will pull out their wallets and buy the products that are being sold, including elected officials. I don't know if you guys are fully aware of how much political spending is likely to come to black media in the year 2026, because the black vote means more and more every election cycle, because there are more and more African Americans that potentially can register and vote. And a lot of elections are decided by 25,000, 30,000 votes. The last 3 or 4 election cycles in Wisconsin decided by less than 40,000 votes. That's 3 zip codes worth of black people. And so if you want to get elected statewide, you have to make sure that you are maximizing the African-American vote, which we know by and large goes to Democrats. Imagine if there's just one umbrella where you write all of the political ad spending checks to. Imagine if you, listen to me now, imagine if you want the black vote and you want to advertise your campaigns and your candidacy to black people and black voters. And if those black people and black voters get their information from WNOV, from 101.7 The Truth, and the Milwaukee Courier, imagine if you put all of those entities under one umbrella, so when somebody writes a check to buy political ads, that check goes to the same place. It's a genius move when you think about it. Now, to the extent that that can be executed and us not be disrupted in providing the information and the content to our audiences that grew because of the way we provide uninterrupted content, that remains to be seen. And let me be abundantly clear. I'll be 100% transparent with y'all, because I have no reason nor incentive to lie. If I don't like what's being presented, I'll just go and broadcast on YouTube. It's very, very simple. Like, I don't have to. They can say, hey, Sherwin, here's what we got. I'm like, okay, cool. That don't work for me. That's it. There's no contract here. Like, I'm not bound to put up with something. I'm too old and have too much experience to put up with something that I don't agree with. And here's the thing. I won't bash. I'm like, hey, that just doesn't work for me. Good luck to you. I'm going to go ahead and exit stage left. I'm cool. And we can all keep it cordial. I'm not going to burn any bridges. I'm not going to ruin any relationships. But when it comes to business, That's what it is. And it's going to be objective. It's going to be non-emotional. Because that's the one thing that I hate about some of these business interactions. Someone will arbitrarily lean on whatever relationship or friendship that they have with you. But, oh, Sherwin, we go way back. So this has nothing to do with that. Because there is an audience that I'm responsible for, and my audience doesn't care how long we have known each other, especially if we are being disrespectful to them. Because here's something that I vow not to do. I'm not going to disrespect black people because we get it enough. I come here some days where I don't feel good. I'm sick. Hell, I passed out on the air last year. I knew I should have stayed home that day, but I was like, nah, I can get through these 3 hours. I'll be cool. Horrible mistake that was. You ever get wheeled out of your job on a stretcher? Not. They cut my shirt off. Belly was hanging out. They marched me through the market hall. People was coming here getting their tacos and their burritos. Seeing my chest. A couple people tried to follow me into the ambulance. Oh, my God, Sherwin.
It might have been a blessing.
I've dedicated my life to this. This is unequivocally my life's work. And I don't play about my people and my life's work. They can think that I play about it. They're going to find out soon enough. And here's the thing. They get it. They understand. So, we'll keep everybody posted. I'm going to be on my YouTube channel because that might be where I end up being permanently. I should have did that a long time ago because I could have avoided all of this, but I just stuck around because I like it here. You know what I mean? It's a comfortable environment, and it works out well. Also, where black media has... Now, this isn't technically black-owned media. Well, it is now, kind of. But look where we're at. We're in the 3rd Street Market Hall. Black media deserves to be downtown. It deserves to be in the middle of everything. It deserves to be in a tourist attraction that the 3rd Street Market Hall is. It deserves to be in the Grand Avenue Mall where so many of us came during our youth. It deserves to be here. It deserves to be in the middle. It deserves to be front and center. It deserves to get the same kind of platform as other mainstream news that prides itself on tearing us down. We deserve to be in this space, and anything less than this is an affront to us and our people and how hard we've worked to get our media to be front, center, and mainstream. I said what I said. Take a break, come back. Talk to Miss Linda on the other side. Yay. She had the nerve to call me uncle. Hey, Unc, Linda, you could be my mama. Don't call me Unc, call me son. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Walk in for a suit, walk out with 2. It's buy one, get one half off throughout May at Nicobani's. Suits, blazers, hats, jeans, and more. Everything you need from a hands-on team that styles you from head to toe. Find a suit, add shoes for half the price. Land a perfect 2-piece set? Now add a vest for 50% less. Prom, graduation, galas, whatever's on your calendar, now's the time to stop in to Nicobani's. 2nd floor at Mayfair Mall across from AMC. Buy one, get one half off throughout May at Nicobani's. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details.
Discover your new favorite city, Milwaukee. Catch a sunrise over Lake Michigan. Sip your way through craft breweries. And dive into a dining scene that's turning heads. From museums and music to thrilling sports teams and buzzing nightlife, Milwaukee delivers all season long. Good things are always brewing on the Fresh Coast. The expert guides at visitmilwaukee.org have everything you need to fully plan every detail. Whatever it is you'd like to do in Milwaukee. Plan your trip today at visitmilwaukee.org.
Honest, direct, and always thought-provoking.
Even if the system don't make sense anymore. And that's the part we got to be honest about. Education is not a theory. It's not a title. It's not a category. It's a student, it's a teacher, it's a classroom, and there's learning. Everything, everybody else, including the superintendent herself, are secondary. Assistant superintendents, or whatever the heck you call them, deputy, chief of school, everybody, they are secondary if a child's not learning. The student is the number one thing there. So if we've reached the point where the only way to defend the system is to argue that keeping teachers out of the classroom is essential to education, then we're not just confused. We backwards. And when policy, practice, priorities, and money collide like that, there's only one word for all of this: nonsensical.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. Weekdays from 4 to 6. Live on YouTube and broadcasting on 1017 The Truth.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Linda, you're on 1017 The
Good
Truth.
morning, and good morning, Professor, and good morning to all the good white and black people of Milwaukee and America. It is the Great Reset, Sherwin. But yes, at times when you're coming from your heart, you sound like Uncle Sherwin.
Oh, good.
And when you're coming from your head in the politics of politics, you come from your head and you sound like a professor. So there's a distinct difference I hear in your voice, and that distinguishes your heart and your intellect. And they're both coming from a place of love for
Linda.
your black people. And I appreciate that. And even though we had a rough start, I think that we are great sisters and brothers right now. I consider you a brother of the cause, and I'm a sister for the cause. And so that's why I stuck in there with you, because I see you have a gift.
Wait,
honey.
hold on, Linda. Hold on. Who had a rough start?
You and I, when I first started calling in and stuff, and you was treating me so bad, I was crying. But
wait,
I got over
you
it.
cried? Oh, Linda.
I cried because I'm sensitive. I'm sensitive, but I learned how to be strong when I, experience these things. You taught me how to be strong. It's not that I need to avoid you or talk about you or allow you to change my character. It's the teaching. We're all here to learn from each other and to help each other.
Linda, you make it sound like we used to be married. Like we used to be in a relationship. This is not good.
Well, no, it's not a relationship. It's a connection. When our energies connected.
Hold on, wait a minute.
We were
Slow down with the energies.
The deeper I go, it seems like the deeper it gets.
Stop going deep.
No, sir. No. Not that deep, Sharon, but I can go that deep if you want. No. Hello, somebody. But I'm trying not to get freaky, Sharon. But if you want to go there, we can go there, Sharon, because I'm ready. We'll be like Fred and Frida, Sharon. But no, I just wanted to say yes. At first, we were trying to, find our place in this connection between Linda and Sharon.
No, we weren't.
Because I defend.
Nobody was trying to find any connection.
Because I defend black women, and so when you talk about one black woman, I take it personal, and so I used to take it personal, especially when you talked about Michelle hating her husband. She did not hate her husband. It's just that he didn't know his place, and she didn't want the time to show him. But when they were having babies, she was going through the emotional changes, and so she was relying on him to come
Linda,
through.
Hold on now. That's all right. I know that Barack Obama knows better than to ever talk about Michelle Obama and go to a media outlet and say that he didn't like his wife for 10 years. Hell, he might not have liked Michelle for 20 years, but he wouldn't say it. That was the issue that I had. And also, stop thinking that you know what's going on through Michelle Obama's head. You're trying to make her seem relatable to you. You're like, oh, she was going through this, and you don't know nothing going through.
No,
the first
I don't. But
Linda, I gotta go. Thank you for your support.
I want to finish what I had to say. I wanted to finish what I had to say, and that's your topic. The topic about ownership, and our forefathers, our ancestors, our relatives have shown us the way. Ownership, man.
All right.
My dad.
That's perfect. Listen, I got to take a break, and Al is on the line. You over here talking about the freaky stuff.
Talk to you later.
Okay, then. Over here making it seem like me and her had something going on, like me and Mrs. Jones. You ain't no Mrs. Jones, Linda.
Well, she has a parasocial relationship.
Mrs. Jones. You know what I need? Here, I'll take a break because Al, we're gonna start with a fresh segment. Because why Linda go all the way around the block to get next door? Why she got him? Everybody already think that me and her is humping. We're not humping at all. It's Sherwin. I try to figure out our connection and our relationship. But that happens though. When you listen to somebody every single day, you think you know him. You don't know me.
Yes, he's a parasocial relationship. She's kind of, she's fallen in love with your voice and your ideas.
I don't blame her one bit, though. That's very easy to fall in love with.
Yeah, very beautiful mind.
Thank you, Xavier. That's mighty romantic of you. I got to take a break now. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Milwaukee Black Talk.
You don't want to be there. You don't like the work. You don't like the people. Now, there are some differences. The only difference is modern American slavery and capitalism versus 19th century. We were dramatically more primitive back then. And a slave that is able to buy their freedom is the same as the disaffected, disgruntled worker that is able to buy their way into entrepreneurship because that for them is freedom.
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Hi, this is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth, and I want to talk to you about something bigger than just buying a house. I'm talking about building a legacy. Owning a home isn't just about four walls and a roof. It's about giving your kids a place where memories are made, where birthdays are celebrated, and where they always belong. It's about planting roots, knowing your neighbors, waving from the porch, and being a part of a community that feels like family. If you've been renting and wondering if home ownership is even possible, Axe Housing is here to work with you. An Axe Housing coach will help you create a plan, a budget, and move step by step toward owning a place you can truly call your own. They've already helped over 4,000 families become homeowners, and many are paying less than they were paying for rent. Don't let where you are today stop your family's tomorrow. Start your journey at axehousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Your legacy begins at home. I'm Sherwin Hughes, and I know the power of Stars and Stripes Honor Flight firsthand. As someone who's been on an honor flight, I can tell you it's a day you'll never forget. Stars and Stripes Honor Flight gives our oldest veterans who served in any location in June of 1975 or earlier a free one-day trip to Washington, D.C. for veterans. Airfare, meals, a coach bus tour, and special flight apparel are all included. It's a day of honor, gratitude, and camaraderie. Veterans who served in the Vietnam or Korean War go to flysshf.org and ask for an application.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Are you planning a special event? Do you need a personal chef? Either way, make it tasteful. I I'm Alicia the Chef, owner of Tasteful Events Catering, and we create customized food experiences for any occasion. We bring quality, flavor, and professionalism to every table. Whether it's a special event or everyday meal solutions, we focus on delivering more than just food. We create experiences. Book today or learn more online at www.tastefuleventscatering.com.
More of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Let's talk to Al. Hey, man. How are you?
Hey, happy Monday to everybody. 3 points. Number one, I don't think Obama was beating it up, because when that woman know it's real good, she ain't gonna be mad about it. Every car she got up, she gonna make sure that food is on that table, and she ain't gonna care what you do. He probably wasn't putting his back and his hips into it. He probably was just doing the bare minimum. Number two, I'm getting all kind of red flags because I feel like there's some kind of backstabbing going on. You know, and that's why when you brought up like Malele Cox and the rest of them people, it's sending all kind of red flags. That's just my point of view. No white man can tell what black people need. And the number one rule in the book, a white man should never, ever, 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 ever yell at a black man or say anything about a black man being dead. Because if you can yell out a black man is dead, and you got 50 years of experience, what make you think you ain't that far behind him? And that's just the law of the lessons of life. So if he's listening, you got to learn some respect. And you got to learn how to pump your brakes because you're white. I can't tell you what a white person needs because I'm black. So you should know enough. You should know enough from your wisdom in life that how you come to a black person and know what black radio needs. I think your white privilege have got your ass cheeks too tight, and now you done wrote a check that your mouth just can't cash. And one thing you have to remember about white people, I don't care how much money you got. If you can walk away with your integrity and your pride, they still would kiss your ass. But he's probably looking for a black man to say, okay, master. And when you can make a rich white man break, you can get him to do whatever thing you want. See, his ego just got big. But I want all of you to have a good day and do something kind for yourself. And if you listening in, you got to beat that thing up, and she'll always have your back. But if you give her sloppy seconds, she's going to cuss your ass out every day. So stop pulling out too early and make sure you put your back and your hips into it. Use them Kegel muscles downstairs, okay? Have yourself a good day and a happy Monday. Beat it up. All right.
Thank you for that wise advice. Al was referring to a guy by the name of Chris Moreau. He is the regional manager for Civic Media. Civic Media purchased WNOV and the Milwaukee Courier and also created the trust in which the Courier, WNOV, and 1017 The Truth will currently be in. And so I was being very honest with, I don't know this dude from Adam, and this is the one that raised his voice to me and told me that he had 50 years in radio. And also I had some concerns about how WNOV was run and managed. And I don't know what he meant because I'm never in somebody's head, but he was like, Gerald Jones is dead. Gerald Jones is dead. I was like, what did you mean? Are you threatening me? Are you telling me that his family and his legacy no longer owns that radio station and your company does? Like, that didn't sit well with me. And then when I had a conversation with a black person that was also in the room that witnessed that black person stood up for and stuck up for the white man that was yelling at me, which, dude, totally cool, but I can't respect that. I don't have to. So you know what I mean? It is making my life, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, easier. Because a lot of times they don't have the balls to say that kind of stuff to your face or in front of you. They're being bold with it. Like they think that they have some kind of great, tremendous power because a purchase was made. You only purchased the plantation. All of us have the ability to walk off of it. Now, hold on, everybody relax, calm down. All is not lost yet. We're going to see. But I have no obligation to keep secret if I'm treated poorly, because if you're going to treat me poorly in the beginning, what happens if I actually agree and if I join? I'd be a whole fool. There's a bunch of jobs that I've had and opportunities I've taken where everybody was so nice in the beginning. They were so sweet. They loved on you. They took care of you. But then as you get into it, as you get further along, then you start to see their sinister motives. I am so fortunate if I can see somebody's sinister motives in the beginning. Like, they'll show you who they are in the beginning. Like, that's a blessing, because a lot of times you may waste a lot of your life and not know the real somebody. Like the red flags, right? Now we're all about finding the red flags. I'm walking into red flags. Sometimes the red flags are buried. They're way far away. They're 3, 4, 5, 7 years away. They're 10 years away. Red flags might be 20 years away. And so I'm very, very clear. Now, I don't believe that we are at a point where a resolution can't be reached. But the initial approach was poor. And, you got to be real careful with first impressions. Because there have been people that I think we've all met where the first impression was so poor, you just never wanted to have any dealings with people ever again. Now, there's also people that have had bad first impressions and end up being in long-lasting, loving relationships. How many of y'all hated your spouse when you first met? Oh, I didn't like them. You know what I'm saying? So it can be either way. But I'm clear in my purpose. I have never in my life been more undeterred. I've never been more full of courage than ever before. And let me tell you where I got that courage from. I used to do the song and dance like all of you did. You had to make sure that you were marching to somebody else's drum and making sure that you weren't getting out of line because you had to do whatever this person says because you want to maintain your employment or maintain your opportunity. I don't do that no more because my courage came from you. And I am forever grateful for you giving me the courage to stand on my own. What they say, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. We're fine. But aren't we always fine? Think about what we've been through together, what we've been through separately. The history of who we are is outlasting their worst attempts at trying to stifle us. This is no different. In fact, I think we have quite a bit of experience of ducking and dodging their attempts to hurt us, to harm us, and stifle us. This is a country that has done everything it could to make sure that we don't succeed, and we got elected president twice. We're fine. Everything's cool. I'm undeterred. Xavier's in the producer studio laying in the cut. My blood pressure's under control. Had a beautiful Mother's Day with Mama. It was sad, though, because there was an empty seat at our brunch table where my father would sit. It was horrible. It was bad. The first time in my life we had a Mother's Day without my father. That's a rough one. And for those of you that lost a parent, you understand. But also, I think that the passing of my father made me deal with pain and grief in a way that what somebody I don't know says about me or throws at me or tries to buy me or sell me means nothing. I'm a boy that lost his daddy. There's nothing that you can say to me or do to me to harm me worse than the loss of losing my father. Every time I looked at my father, I always knew that everything was going to be all right because I would look at him and see the other half of me. He wouldn't even have to say nothing. Once you lose that, everything else kind of pales in comparison. And so I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what tomorrow looks like, what next week looks like. I don't know what these broadcast mediums are going to look like. Just know this part. Ladies and gentlemen, my word is my bond. Even though the future is very uncertain, I'm not afraid. In fact, I think I'm ready for whatever life may throw at me. And it's one of those skills that you learn through maturity and through experience, because that's something that is guaranteed. Curveballs are going to come out of nowhere. And over time, you figure out a way to adjust. So thank you guys so much for listening to the program and for all of the years that you have given me and all of the courage you have built up in me. So as far as I know, I'm here tomorrow. But if you are so inclined, go and follow my YouTube page, which is at Hughes Views 414, just in case. I'll see you next time.
Come in with straight truth.
If you acted up, if you were out here doing any kind of foolishness or just something that people know would make your family's name look